My ankle like hurts. I can't believe.
Huh?
My ankle hurts so much.
What is that?
Because I tripped and fell on the BART.
Do you want to log in?
Oh yeah, we can do that.
We all dream. And when we dream, we think our dreams belong to us.
I feel like I forget my password all the time. Alright.
Two-factor auth, baby.
I just registered myself as an LLC yesterday.
For what?
Because, for Mailing on Me. I finally did it. Didn't want to do it, but it was needed.
Well, you know we're live.
We are live.
Where's ESPN Esports? Where's this article?
Oh,
they got it. There you go. Retweet time. Got to retweet on all accounts.
We gotta do a selfie for the fans.
The fans? I'm not paying attention, sorry. Sup, homie? Sup, turd sandwich? Why do you pause this?
I don't have it.
Why don't you just go to dashboard? I need to change the title.
Oops.
Or do I
just episode 20.A or 20A or something.
20B?
20B. And we'll just say Q&A.
Q&A. Q&A. Update. Some turd sandwich. We are about to go, we're about to start.
Alright. I guess we should go also promote the Facebook group, so I'll message the Facebook group. I like that we don't have to put too much work into maintaining the Facebook group.
Which Facebook group?
The
Commentator's Curse?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Let Budding do it. He's a budding young man.
You know, he's my next Zerda hero.
Edwin?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Good for him.
He bought it. Do you like our I still think it's really funny.
What?
The photo where you look like your orgasm.
It's great. Good job. I'll get you the exact one. Alright. Where's your tweet? Fuck. You did a selfie tweet, right?
Did I tag you? I did not tag you. I'm an idiot.
I got it. It's fine.
Dude, we could be a boy.
You posted it in the Facebook group?
Yeah, I just posted.
Sick. Dude, the Facebook, he's a social media genius.
Yeah. Now, if we can make it so it automatically does it for everybody, that'd be amazing. Ooh. So PvP said Smash Summit 3 partnerships with Wii Maps could be messy.
Who did? Why? Why would it be messy?
I don't know.
I don't know what they're talking about.
It's an opinion.
PvP Live, where you go to to learn nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they put out content, right?
They put out whatever. They put out anything that they can find.
But it's like I mean, they're like the speculative group, I guess, right?
I guess, man. Dustin seems like a nice guy. So
Dustin's a nice guy.
I don't want to hate. I just think that there's limits.
And then you just say that this, I don't know, it's like values, right? He's doing the best he can within the system that he's given. Is that right? That's like the...
What's the system?
I think they want to be the first on most things to get the maximize clicks. Anyway, if you guys are here, askfm.com/Taffakins, and we will, answer questions. I mean, we can talk about Summit to kind of kick things off. Oh, it's Producto.
What's good? We're just getting everyone settled in. Q&A. It's
Alright.
crazy. It's crazy out here.
So should I tell them the story of how I tripped and fell? So
Go ahead.
I'm in NorCal for Blood for Blood, which is my man's awesome tournament. He broke a record. Oh, VG Bootcamp's in here too.
What's up, Gims?
Oh, you got the yogurt?
We got a stacked chat right now.
Dude, Chobani is a top tier yogurt.
Chobani's hella good.
So I'm in NorCal and I take public transportation to get there, and I see the BART, which is our, I guess, metro station. What do we call it? It's kind of like a train that connects a lot of the Bay Area. And I saw it coming, and I knew that I had to run to get in. And it's raining in NorCal. I did not expect it to rain this weekend. So I'm running, and then I get in. I'm like, yes, and I think I'm almost smooth, going like this.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry. Going like this. And then little did we know that, I totally bailed it, and I tripped, and I fell. And I landed on my elbow. And then everyone's like, oh, are you okay? And
you blew it.
I blew it, man. I got up. I didn't want to say I was hurt, even though it hurt my ankle and my elbow. I was like, no, I'm good. And I walked slowly and I hobbled. Oh, man.
Sad boys, man. I don't know if there's any recovering from that. What's up, Mike? Hope you feel better, man.
But, you know who needs to recover?
Who?
All SoCal. Oh, by the way, that door is not... This door barrier thing is not... we were actually... Actually, let's go into our little, circle. Let's pretend that's actually, a circle thing.
Oh.
Going to
your... Oh, you're saying if I went to my corner and you went to your corner?
No, just, have your body in the middle, in between this and this.
Am I doing it right? I don't
No,
understand.
move to your left a bit. Your other left. A little more. Doesn't it look like we're not in the same area with that middle thing?
Sort of. I see why people thought that in the last episode.
Yeah. So
dude, the Bicky Barnes is a great emote. I actually Bicky Barnes is a great emote, Mike. You deserve to have that emote because you made the fire tweet.
The fire tweet. Should we start local? Wait, we don't have local recording.
Yeah, you have to do it off Twitch export, dude.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Dude.
That worked so well last time.
It totally did. It's a struggle, man. I can't do it.
Well, did you know that you can use twitch.tv/upload and just upload it on Twitch?
Yeah, but how many people are going to find it?
Yeah, no one.
It sounds like a nice idea.
It's a nice idea one day.
In theory.
Yeah.
But, gosh. So Mike Hayes actually got the rights to the Bicky Barnes. I mean, he did the joke, so...
Yeah, I mean... What?
It just looks really funny.
Oh, Binky? Yeah, Binky looks fucking funny.
I didn't actually see the email until now.
Yeah. Noah Nato, Fendi versus Blur Marvelous. Fendi's a great guy. I feel like Fendi doesn't get enough respect, but he's never beaten me in a friendly, and we've played many.
Damn.
So keep that in mind, Noah. Keep that in mind.
Damn. Good stuff.
People doubt, dude. I saw a thread which was talking about the best commentators and TOs as players, and it was listing Scar, Toph, D1, and someone else.
What was this?
And they didn't want to include Mango or anyone in that list,
oh,
right?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
Wobbles, right? Not. And I was looking, I was like, I'm better than D1.
Are you?
I'm definitely. I feel like I'm better than. I might be better than Scar right now. I don't know.
I think you and D1 would be really close. D1's pretty good, man.
People still. Lovage is definitely number one.
Dude,
If you count him, though. Do you count him as a commentator if he goes to one event a year?
I mean, he goes primarily to commentate. So
Now, yeah.
I mean, with Mango, it's a top player that competes and so happens to commentate.
Edwin says, Blur, you're not better than D1 or Scar. Edwin, you actually don't know what you're talking about. And I would force stock you repeatedly.
I don't think you'd force stock him repeatedly.
I'm not sure if he would take a stock.
Edwin?
Yeah.
He beat Slux before, I think.
It's incredible. I've seen D1 play. He's definitely better than you. Edwin, you literally don't know what you're talking about.
We have to get D1 to guest appear. I guess he's in Dubai right now, though, right?
Do I have to, show people VODs from my own stream of, me beating all the people on the list? What's going on?
Oh, he didn't beat Slux. Okay. Let's Blur and Taffo. Purple Panda.
Sean, you're not better than my Pichu.
Fact.
Sean, you can't beat my Pichu. Get out of here.
Sean, I should have visited Smash GG today. I'm so sorry. I realized I had like an extra hour or two. You know, Razer sucks because I went to the Razer store. I was hoping for I was actually hoping that Razer was like the Razer store would have Razer replacement chargers for their laptops because that's what they're promoting.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the store and they're like, no, we don't have any Razer chargers. I'm like, okay, what good is your store then? You know, your flagship store in San Francisco to not have Razer chargers for sale.
And when they respond?
They're like, oh, sorry. And then just walked away. And I was really mad.
And that's it?
Yeah.
And that's all? That's it?
I mean, what are
There's
they
nothing
gonna,
else to do?
There's nothing else. What else can I do, man?
That's what I hate. I wish there was a place for me to yell. You know? I hate how in all retail situations, things with airlines, everything else, you know it's not that person's fault.
Yeah.
But you just want to yell at someone. You're like, why can't I yell at someone who's actually responsible for this?
I mean, the one thing I said is, though, you're the flagship store and you expect me to work with a laptop with no charge for an entire week is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
They're like, sorry. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just left.
Do we have to keep Edwin in our chat? Can we just take him out? How have we not had a commentator tournament yet? Because that's like an 8-man tournament. Like, it's not that compelling.
It would be entertaining.
I suppose so.
We should have like a commentator summit or something. Wait, who would be in it? It'd be Vish, Webs.
Oh, well, Vish would win.
Vish would win?
If Vish is in it, he's winning.
Why?
Over who?
Me?
Oh, do you count?
I think so.
I think so. You count.
I mean, like, I'll go to events to compete, but like, I don't practice or anything. I'm going to do other stuff.
What about Homemade Waffles can win?
Yeah, Brandon.
Phil?
Yeah.
Do well. Scar, Toph. Toph can win.
I don't think Scar can win.
Not right now.
Not in this current state. Who else is there?
Me, D1.
You and D1.
We do well.
Let's see. Webs.
Fendi. If we include Lovage, it's broken.
I can beat Lovage.
Right now, you could. I don't know.
Lovage
is still really good.
He's good, but he's not gritty anymore. So like he plays like a wobbler or something. Like he's just gonna be like, you know what? I'm commentating.
We should commentator teams.
That'd be sick.
That'd be sick.
Like commentate because like Lovage could probably beat me, but like he doesn't have the grit to go like, oh, I'm gonna have to deal with this like wobbler or this Jigglypuff that just back airs and spams.
Apparently, Foster's pretty good. Is Samus? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty legit.
Yeah. So Lovage, if he tried his absolute hardest, would probably win. But he's not going to want to deal with getting reaction tech chased or back air spammed.
That's quite a way to win. It's
Yeah.
Depending on them not trying.
Dude, did you see Vish and Toph's impersonation of Foster?
No.
It was amazing. It was like the short clip on the Not Bob montage.
Yeah.
But I was
I hear it. Was it wow or whatever?
No, they actually did a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Throw Gimmer and Jolly Guy in there. Why not? Let's just throw them in.
Gimmer and Joga. Then that'd be like a TO tournament then.
Sort of.
How
Well,
about like
Gimmer's not TO really.
How about a TO like the back room area people? Like anyone that's associated, you'd think of being them behind the scenes.
Like who?
I mean, I think Gimmer and Apostles crew, Joe Guy, you, me,
Sure.
commentators. Who else would be there? We're not including 10, dude.
Like Matt.Zeb.
Matt.Zeb. We could do a TS crew versus commentators crew, but I think the commentators would
Destroy.
Yeah. I don't think it would be
The TOs would do alright though. Do you count like Armada as a TO? If you do, then
we count Mango as a
commentator.
Yeah. Oh, my elbow, man. I can't put it on anything.
Thing is, like, pretty much everyone's commentated at some point, and pretty much everyone's TO'd at some point, you know. But like, there's degrees to this sort of stuff.
There are degrees, man. All right, we got questions.
Because you could be in the TO bracket too.
Yeah, I could. I actually TO'd at one point.
Pretty much everyone's TO'd at this point. Anyone who's been in the scene long enough.
I feel like you have to 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 become a figurehead. Like, there's very
You literally can't, I don't think.
Like, you need. That's how you get all your information and know what's going on. If you don't TO, then yeah,
You're a lamer.
you're a lamer.
Actually, you're just a leech.
A leech.
One big leech.
So, I got some questions on my phone.
Can we talk more about ranking the top 6 to 7 esports by Juicebox? Is that the real Juicebox?
It's probably not.
Probably, whatever. That guy's cool. I commented with him once. I'd say 1 is either Counter-Strike or League. It depends on your metric. You can count Dota as number 1 also. If you think prize money is your number 1 metric, Dota is the number 1.
Yeah.
If you think viewership is your number 1 metric, overall viewership, then Dota's your number, and then League's your number 1. If you think peak for one tournament, then CS is your number 1.
Yeah.
Because CS peaks higher than like Worlds ever will, very likely. So it's interesting. Those are definitely the top 3. They're so clearly a tier above everything else that's like actually kind of a joke. Don't go to the Newzoo stuff, dude. Don't be one of those stooges.
Okay.
You should know better than that.
Does Sean know better than that?
I don't know. Sean doesn't know better than that, clearly.
Damn.
Sean needs to get educated.
Educated?
Yeah. Anyone... Okay. I ain't trying to blow it up, but anyone who looks at this list and doesn't see immediate problems with it doesn't know esports, is all I would have to say. Like, anyone who thinks that Smash's esports hours are only 64% of his total is delirious. Smash's esports hours are 95% of his total. Trust me. And like, there's a lot of inaccuracies, but don't worry about it. I wouldn't look at those numbers.
You prefer the Magic?
Yeah, Potter, if you can use AskFM, that's the best. Taf, if you want to open your AskFM, that's about it. Here we go. Is this right? Oh, you have to log in.
Yeah.
But it is true, the general idea that CS, League, and Dota are like so hilariously above everything else that really the race for 4th place is kind of a joke. Well, we're in that race. That's like the tier 1, and then the tier 1 is roughly 10 times as big as the tier 2, I'd say, something like that. And that's just in esports hours, let alone total. There's a lot going on here. Wow, we have a lot of Q&A. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, so
wait. Let's finish this question. We're doing the ranking of the esports. Juicebox asked.
oh yeah, I wasn't going to interrupt.
Okay.
I was going to show you what the first question was.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
And I think we're gonna call Smash as a one whole thing, not Smash 4 and Smash Melee.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what the greater industry visa says, right?
Right. So I think 4 is depends on if you count Hearthstone. How much you value Hearthstone's esports viewership.
I mean that's hard because it's a growing line that goes from like home viewership, because I'm imagining that the Hearthstone home streams do really well.
Very, very well. They're the best, actually. They're better than League. They're better than Dota.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Hearthstone's interesting. Its home streams do better than their tournaments. Shantun says, "Can't believe we don't have Q&A yet." What do you think?
Technically, this is a.
Well, we're answering your question right now, T'Challon. Hearthstone equals cooking shows. Yeah, it's weird. It's like its tournaments are mostly like taking people who have big home streams and putting them all in one event, and then watching viewership go up. You know.
Q&A on Smash GG.
Oh, on Smash GG, that's what he means. Okay.
Wait, what does he mean by that?
I don't know. What up, Blur? What's your next stream? Probably next week after Blood for Blood. Between Big House and Blood for Blood, I've been busy, but you guys have been getting commentators' curses. You guys have been seeing me on commentary. You guys have been seeing me doing this stuff. So if you love the Blur, you've been finding me.
Yes.
It's like, I'm just on a lot of channels, but I'll go on my own home stream next week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see a little bit of out of focus.
Smash 4 Melee shouldn't be grouped together, IMO, but I can see how the whole esports perspective would see it. I actually think they should be grouped together because They're in the same venue every time, with very little exception.
Yeah.
And they share the same streams. It's very hard to separate them, even, if you just look at the raw basis. They share the same players in many cases. Like, you kind of have to group them together.
Yeah.
If you don't want to group them together, then Smash Melee and Smash Wii U's case drops a little bit.
Yeah, and it's tough to say because when you're trying to build packages for different avenues to make it more enticing, separating them is just not a smart business move.
No, it's a very bad business move. Because selling against Wii U is generally more attractive to many sponsors because it's a newer game. And, you could sell Asus monitors, for example, against Wii U. You can't sell anything against Melee.
Yeah.
But Melee's got all the numbers. If you want to sell stuff, you want to show the really good sales data.
Well, there's synergy, so
that's the synergy. The synergy is basically what I just described right there. So it helps for both of them to exist side by side. Should they be in the same venue? I imagine they should effectively have some of the base costs, but the overlap. We're gonna get there, dude.
Sorry, I'm excited, man.
But the overlap between viewers and competitors is so small that maybe it's not actually optimal. So I actually was thinking about this a lot, and actually I got a big learning about the SoCal SSS out of it, in that at the local level I think them being separate is probably preferred, because people feel like during one-day events it's much better to feel like your game is focused on than for the attention to be divided, right? So if you have one stage, you probably want the games to be separate, right? Because you only have so much time for the storylines. You only have one day to really break things down, and so it's kind of a distraction to split it between two games.
Yeah.
That's kind of unfortunate because locals need the combined attendance the most because those entry fees are really important to them. But for locals, I actually think separate is probably a little bit better. For everything else, to combine is better.
I mean, you wouldn't have that top 8 venue at Genesis if you didn't have 64 or...
Yeah, you need...
Yeah.
Well, without 64, we could have done it.
Without
Wii U, definitely.
Without Wii U, we would not have that Genesis venue.
Yeah, so I think the bigger events for sure, local and regional events separate, it might be better, but you can make it work together as well. Who would I team with in a commentator doubles bracket?
It wouldn't have to be us, right?
Yeah, we'd be the team commentator's curse. It'd be dope.
Yeah, we'll be Team CC.
Team CC. Let's go.
I guess I should play Peach or something.
Me and D1 would also be good because we're kind of a pair.
Oh, yeah.
In commentary, so.
I guess I could go with Fendi as an alternate.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then Webbs and Vish. It should be the person you...
It should definitely... Well, Webbs and Fendi kind of works, right? Because they do a lot together.
I think I'd pair Webbs with Vish.
Webbs and Vish are kind of a duo,
They're the duo. I think by far Homemade Waffles and Phil would destroy everybody.
Homemade Waffles and Phil would win so bad. It would be Tough Scar versus Homemade Waffles and Phil Grand Finals, right? No, I mean, if we're paired, we do well. If we're paired, we can do all right. Me and D1 would do okay, too.
Homemade Waffles and Phil's by far a significantly better team.
Oh, yeah,
they're good at teams.
They actually play teams together. They should win by a long shot.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start using the Ask FM. So I know you guys have awesome stuff to say in the chat, but
we're gonna start with stuff.
Oh my God, there's so many.
These are all old. I was right at the spot where.
Oh my God, bro! There's so many of these.
I went right with the one starting about an hour ago. So this was the first one.
All right, so we got a bunch of stuff. Tom Scar with Home Wallace and Phil at Summit 2, I heard. That doesn't sound right to me. It might be true, but it doesn't sound right.
If they played a series set, I think Phil and
Brandon, clear favorites.
Then again, Florida lost, so we never know with these things anymore.
Kerwin, don't use that kind of language. You're gonna get the. Come on now. Anywho, what's
up, Dan Towns? Okay.
What's up, Dan Towns?
NorCal versus SoCal 10s. Who do you think would win that crew battle, and when can that possibly be done?
NorCal versus SoCal 10v10.
NorCal 10s would be really broken. We're struggling at the 8, 9, and 10.
The honest answer, if you want honest blur, NorCal would win.
I mean,
my optimism would say SoCal. But the bottom 5 of NorCal is very strong.
I think the big thing is, if we run through the lineups, you have the big 3 of NorCal, and then you have Nintendo, you have Ladandis, Zoo,
Cactuar,
Dizkid.
Dizkid.
You have anyone you can pick from.
Those next two are amazing still.
Like you can pick Azusa, you can pick Ralph, you can pick Waffles, you can pick Toph, Daryl. There's a bunch of people we're missing.
Yeah.
Soft.
They have Soft too.
Dark Atma. Kalamazoo.
Yeah. He got top 8 at Big House. So that NorCal 10's freaking broken. SoCal 10's pretty broken.
I mean, you have
Mango.
the same 5 from Cruise.
Yeah.
And then Hugs, Santi, Mike.
If Santi plays, it's doubtful. But if you get Santi, Mike, then maybe SoCal can win.
And then who's our last two? Connor and
last two gets hard.
Connor and Luigi Kid.
I guess so.
I mean,
does Reno still count?
Reno has no pride in any.
Can you convince Kira to go Sheik?
No.
Please?
I'm like, Kira, you're a Sheik main. Your style does not fit Fox. He's like, no.
Can we like last minute convince him to go Sheik? If we convince Kira...
Captain Face Roll.
Oh, Face Roll.
Yeah.
Actually, SoCal will win. SoCal looks good here.
Yeah. SoCal's not bad.
It depends on if I have there's too many flakers on that list in SoCal for me to really.
Yeah, we'd have to
we drag Santi out there, we drag Connor out there, we drag these guys. I don't know, man.
If we put Squid and
we have to somehow sit the 5 of SoCal down in a chair. That's already hard enough.
Yeah.
You know,
we would have most likely Santi
depending
and CDK would not be there, so it would be like Squid and
Squid would be good. He could
also get viciously counterpicked and get.
That's what I was about to say. He's really bad against some characters. So SoCal can win, but I have no faith in their people.
Yeah. So anyway, what do we think about Santi going for Summit as a hidden boss inactive? I think his market strategy was awful.
He's not gonna win
because we already got stung by ESAM saying I'm gonna practice, and all of a sudden he quit melee. Why would most people want to support a player that's
no one?
Yeah, so
he has no chance. Santi has no chance. It's just a really negative message.
What do we think about Obe, Mike's sponsor?
Dope. Mike is sponsored. I mean, it's a Call of Duty team.
Yeah.
Call of Duty trick shots and stuff. That's always interesting in its own way. But they have a lot of social engagement, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, you always have to be sort of skeptical of their social numbers, but still, a lot of it's legit. They have a big YouTube following. A lot of people watch their videos.
Yeah.
If it helps us grow Smash, that's dope. Mike is a great guy. He deserves it, so
yeah.
Congrats to him.
And if you are, and I always tell the people that are skeptical with their teams, if they don't really think that they're legit, just sign a short contract. What can you really lose if you're only 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very low risk for Mike. So I think it's good. I mean,
yeah. Did you help him with that one, or?
I helped him a little bit. I just said, let me see the contract terms. He actually didn't show it to me, and he just, signed, so I'm guessing...
It was the first one in the last, I think, 6 or 8 months that I wasn't directly involved in.
Yeah.
I learned about it before it happened, but, I wasn't part of the negotiation, which I'm happy about. Less work for me.
I mean, I told him, certain minimum standards I felt like he should get based on, what Gatsu and other people.
Right.
And I was like, don't sign unless you get at least this, and I'm guessing he probably did.
Never sign without consultation. I always recommend that, but Mike knows what he's doing, and by the sounds of it, he got a very good deal, so... good for him, and I'm happy he finally has a team to call his own.
Yeah, good stuff for him. Who are your favorite Melee content creators? Anybody with a diss track?
SBM Tutorials is by far my favorite.
Dude, they were on fire.
I think they're one of the best things to ever happen to Smash Brothers, period. I think we all have to show respect. Of course, my favorite all-time content creator is Samox. I owe my career to him. So
I think we all do.
We all should just shave off 10% of our tournament winnings and give it to Samox. Every commentary check I get, every Twitch check I get, I should be giving 10% royalties to that boy Samox. He is a legend. So all time Samox, current in terms of what people putting out stuff daily or weekly. SSBM Tutorials, because I think their content is fire.
I love that they created videos specifically for the Big House.
Yeah, it's amazing. And my third answer, I mean, these are very like well-known names, but you ask for favorites, right?
Yeah.
Is of course Gimmer. Gimmer doesn't get enough credit. None of us do, but that's how it goes. When you talk about the ungrateful masses.
Yeah.
But Gimmer is very legit, and he keeps on stepping his game up. Keeps on trying to push the envelope, and that guy's a legend.
I mean, I have to give props for him because I think the biggest thing he was hindered by was man hours, and he took the investment to get a staff.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like if you've been around long enough and you've been supporting the scene long enough, people just take it for granted. It's like everyone's talking about Peng Boys is awesome and all that. Those are always if someone asks that question, that's usually the ones brought up.
Yeah.
But it's not with all respect to those kind of content creators.
They don't exist without the
that's a curation channel, Same with Milk or any of that stuff. The hard work is flying to the events and actually streaming it. That's huge. The hard work is in SSBM Tutorial's case, sitting down and making a script, going on with a capture card and making really well detailed tutorial vids with top player analysis. They have MacD on their channel. They have
They had Hugo, right?
They had Hugo on there for Samus. That's crazy, right? That you literally are getting a guide from top players in video form. That's godlike. Or Samox making a documentary. That's truly the best Melee content creators if you just break it down. And I have a lot of respect for them. On the up and up in the last year, Last Life Legends, they've been doing better and better. Their skits at Big House are really dope. But you guys asked for favorites, so I have to give you guys the best of the best.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of other people doing work, but we could go on and on. So if we had to choose the top 6 competitors in Summit voting skill-wise, who would we choose?
Skill-wise?
I mean...
Oh, who's left and who's who? Okay.
I mean, if we're going skill, is it
Ice?
Ice, Swedish Wizzy.
PPU? SUJ?
SUJ...
You said Wizzy already, right?
Yeah. Lucky? Lucky's been pretty bad. Actually, we can look up the list of... If we're going purely by skill, the Spirit of PPMD.
Spirit of PPMD.
Let's see. So if we're going by top... Oh, Duck.
Oh, Duck, yeah.
Yeah. So if we're going by that...
You could also argue Moon.
I think Duck's been a little bit better overall.
Doug has been better.
What about our personal top 6 choices?
My top 6 choices, so... I 100% want Chillin', dude.
Yeah.
Chillin', you can't just put out a fire track like that and not get voted in. And it might be dope to have both Chillin' and Mike Cakes, actually. To have some rap exhibition, I don't know. They'd be cool to have around. But Chillin' especially is an amazing personality for the scene. So funny. I guarantee his commentary is going to be ridiculously funny.
His commentary is good.
He's just a funny guy. He's just a really, really funny guy, lovable guy. I think Chillin' is super, super sick. People are saying if you get Chillin', you have to have Chew. That wouldn't be bad for teams. But speaking of teams, I think you have to have PPU. In many ways, I feel the 10 they invited, they did purely on single skill, but PPU should be invited just because he makes your teams tournament. Without him, teams is not half as hype, right? You gotta have the Pew Fat in your team's tournament. So I feel you just have to have PPU. You just kind of have to have him.
Yeah.
So that's 2 for sure. I want Moon because he hasn't gone before, and I also think he'll be really funny, a great personality for
Moon's really funny, man.
Really funny. I want Ice because of his Big House performance and because he's still unsponsored and he needs help flying to events and more exposure so he can get picked up.
And then teams with Leffen.
And teams with Leffen. So we have we have a lot going on there to help. So those 4 immediately stick out. Obviously, a lot of returning favorites Lucky's Good Bin or SUJ are really popular picks in many ways. It looks like Hugs, MacD, Laudanis, and Overtravis are already gone. So it's RIP to MacD and Hugs. I think if I was not going to pick returning attendees, which I think I might want to, I would probably pick None and...
Drug Fox? Professor Pro? Duck? Oh, no, Duck's been there.
Chew, maybe.
Chew? Okay.
Maybe Chew. But I think for that last slide, I'd probably pick either Lucky, Mike Hayes, maybe Mike Hayes. You know, one of those. But for sure, I want Chillin' Moon, Pew Pew, and what was the last one?
Ice.
And Ice. Those are the 4 to me. I'm like, they just earned it, right?
Yeah.
They kind of just earned it.
I think the big thing for me is that I'm not going to mention names, but people who were voted in that contributed nothing other than just playing, like,
I don't want them there.
I don't want them there. There were a few people, never went on commentary,
Yeah.
didn't participate in anything, and just weren't good personalities
Right.
for the fans.
The whole point of the event is a casual fan experience, sort of like, you know, viewership like experience.
Like, if your fans are donating tens of thousands of dollars to get you in, well, not that much, probably like 2,000 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Like, do something for them.
Right. And I think that, like, with some cases, like with Pew Pew, I actually think, like, he's an awesome personality too. But we've obviously seen a bunch now that he has gone to a few summits. But, like, he's almost required for teams, right? It's kind of like there's a reason the invites exist, right? Where it's like you need to have
the gods. Yeah.
You need to have them for your event to, like, be, you know. And so similarly with Pew Pew and teams, you just kind of have to have them. But, like, for the rest of them, I'm mostly picking on personality, like Chillin' and Moon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Ice, I'm picking on personality to a degree because I actually think he's an awesome guy. I don't know if you saw the interview with him that Scar did. It was really interesting.
I hang out with Ice.
But I also think that as a rising star, he deserves more opportunities.
Have you ever had, like, a conversation with him when he's drinking? Well, he doesn't drink, but, like, when, like, people are just shooting the breeze. He's actually really funny.
He's really funny. Ice will surprise you guys with his personality. Is what I would say.
All right, let's see. I've been slowly scrolling. So, do you think when rankings... there's so many... I mean,
you have to repeat the question because they don't know it.
So,
Do you think when ranking the top 3 right now, Mango, Armada, and HBox, you should put more weight into the fact that Armada hasn't lost to another god when HBox has lost to Wizzy, SFAP, and Plup, and Mango has his losses as well? Only losing to the very top player should count for something. Brian G, that is a good point. I think that you are right. I think those losses are really tainting for their records. I don't think it's the only factor.
Yeah, because the other 2 are, what, like 100-something and, like, 8?
The other 2 have won more majors. Is like what it comes down to, right? Armada hasn't attended as many as them, and definitely hasn't performed. He's got second a ton. Like, he got second Evo. He just got second last weekend at Big House. So his overall record is good, but
I think I have, like, the best comparison. Let's say Armada went through winners and beat everybody to get to grand finals, and Mingo lost, like, a 10 dude and then won the event. Like, you're not gonna strike and say, well, Armada did better because he didn't lose to a non-god. You would point out, well, Mango won the event, including beating Armada.
Right.
And so I think it's important, but I think it might hurt Mango slightly. But Hungrybox, keep in mind, has played, like, probably, like, 70 sets against, like, top 50 and below.
I think Armada... The thing is, though, I don't know if Armada would have losses even if he played more sets. He's just really, really good against all those people.
But, like, how much do you value going, like, 50-3 as opposed to going, like, 30-0?
Not as much as I think you should. But, I mean, the thing is, I do think he would be 50-0.
He would be 50-0.
I think he'd be straight up 50-0. He's that much better than everyone
else. If you're 50-0 and then, like, you're negative against the top 6, it's, like, still hurting. Because if you
he's not negative against the top 6, is he?
He is.
Right now?
Yeah.
Damn.
He's negative against the top 6, so, like, when you aggregate...
Oh, because he's negative against Leffen.
He's negative against Leffen. Even if you take the 2
he's
sets...
He's positive against Mewtwo. He's negative against Mango. He's negative against HBox.
He's, like...
Even-ish against... Yeah.
He's greatly behind Mango. So, like... At the end of the day, like, the net result will still be the same if you aggregated the top 50.
You can't put Armada first when that's the truth. But he's literally negative against that many people. So...
Yeah.
This is how it goes, man. What do you guys feel about Netplay these days? I think that Netplay is dope. It can revolutionize the viewership experience for Smash. I feel like it could bring in a lot of people to stream the game for sure, and it could also be a lot for people who are coming into the scene, because if you just go to Amazon.com and you search for Melee, the price has become more and more absurd over the years, so people need a new entry point. Obviously, everyone clamors for Melee HD, for better or for worse, but until that point, this is a stopgap solution. Obviously, there's powers that be who might not like that, but you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you have to go towards emulation.
Yeah.
For these older games, it's just all you can do. I do think that the Project Melee Online has a lot of legs to it, and it can be really successful. I think a launcher for Melee that's like cleans up a lot of stuff, adds some features, has always been a very high level priority project that can grow the scene exponentially.
Yeah, and faster melee, sub 50 ping is actually really good. And I think if you play people within probably 300 miles of you, I think it's a really good alternative. So it's nice to have more accessibility.
Gamer till death, I am not advocating for pirating, or am I advocating for broadcasting unlicensed content. Not advocating for any of that stuff, but I am saying the net effect of Netplay. I'm just saying what the effect is. I'm not saying you should do it.
Aaron, current FTW, I'm not answering your question. And the answer is no. Who do we think is the most technical Fox? I think.
I actually think Ice.
You think Ice?
By a long shot, but not for the reason you're thinking. I'm not talking about double shots. I'm not talking about anything.
No,
I'm talking about.
No, I'm actually on the same wavelength as you.
You're thinking Leffen?
Yeah.
Interesting. So both of us end up picking people whose fundamental tech skill is like a tier above, in my opinion, the rest.
But I have to tell a quote from Lovage.
Go ahead.
Lovage actually on commentary made a really good point. He was saying have you seen Leffen miss a backdash? Have you seen him miss his follow-ups? Have you seen him miss anything? It's no. And so you see all these people double.
Maybe he'd be right when Leffen was cleaner, but right now he's not.
I mean, but
in general.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think Ice at Big House, I still say, to this day, I have yet to see someone execute their game plan and what their mind wants to do more than he did that tournament.
Yeah.
Leffen, even at his peak, did not execute. Ice had matchup deficiencies and made mistakes in judgment, but he literally executed what he wanted to do. It was very obvious.
I mean, I think that's where we're on the same page. We don't care about the double shine.
I mean, that is an aspect of technical skill.
But we value more what Ice and Leffen do.
In many ways, yes.
Yes.
Because I know for a fact that I probably haven't played a stock of Melee doing 100% of what I want to do. I make too many mistakes, and I think most people have it, honestly.
Yeah.
Most people, if you genuinely look at it, make way more mistakes than we like to admit. It's dozens a game.
Watch Mango and how many times he slips.
Mango makes dozens of mistakes
every
a game.
2 seconds he makes in flub and he kind of improvs it.
It's a lot of mistakes.
But
right?
if you kind of go really slow, you're that was not pretty. He somehow bailed himself.
Right. Ice, you went whole games the stadium game against Armada. Did he make a mistake? I have to rewatch it to be where's a mistake? And
just technicality, not the decision.
In technicality, right? Not decision making. And to me, that's insane. You just don't see that at the top level, especially with pressure, as it is. So for me, yeah, I like Ice.
Yeah. This is more for you. Have you considered having top teams players be invited to future Smash Summits? It would be awesome to see more love for PPU and Android, maybe also Ice.
Yeah, that's actually what I mentioned. I think
he's referring to the 10 people that...
Yes, yeah, that's... So traditionally, we just try to make it fair and say, hey, 10 people, top of my MIOM, you go. But especially when... So the way Smash Summit is now is there's 2 a year, right? This is the
3.
Third Smash Summit, right? The first Smash Summit... Well, the first one of the year, we just take the list and we go. The second Smash Summit, a new list came out, so we take the list and we go. The problem is, the third one, we're still using the same list for Smash Summit 2. So it's the same invites, right? And in many ways, people want variety. And honestly, the list kind of starts being less accurate at this point, And things like teams and international play start affecting things more. I know the qualification system probably needed a little bit tweaking for the third one because, like I said, I feel like Rudolph should at least be voted. You should be able to vote for Rudolph, in my opinion. He's the best in Japan. He should at least be nominated. If you're the best in Japan, you should at least be able to be voted for. That's I think that needs to be tweaked in the system, as well as Melee teams continues to gain prominence in a rapid pace. It's not just about if you're good in singles. People really want to see Android and Pew Pew because of how good they are in teams. So maybe they should be invited out over number 9, number 10 in the singles rankings, which people care about. But if they care about them so much, they can just vote them in.
Yeah. why isn't Smash 4 content creation and tournament streams getting the views they can? So I'll talk about the content creation aspect, and you can talk about more the tournament aspect. In terms of content creation, I've talked to a lot of people who write for Smash, and the key issue, it just seems like the demographics for Smash 4 right now, it could be fixed, don't really care for the esports content. And when I talk about articles and stuff, they care about like guides from zero, like character guides, and more than meme stuff. It's not to say memes are bad, but that seems like that's what more of the larger Smash 4 fan base appreciates, more than like looking at rivalries and narratives. And there's a lot of numbers that back this up.
Before I continue on that, and I will, Hipster Duelist, that's a great question. Use AskFM. Everyone, we see you're giving questions. Go to AskFM. We're not going to use chat as much. We're trying to stick to AskFM just so we can be fair to people and answer stuff in order of when they asked. So please just copy paste that AskFM. It's super simple. So what I was going to say is, I actually think what you said is very true, and something that I pointed out to Smash 4 commentators many times in the past, which is that, and they're playing to their market, right?
Yeah.
So if you watch, so what's the main difference between Melee and Smash 4 commentary that ends up basically permeating to the viewers, right? Melee commentary is hyper technical. We are very passionate. We are yelling all the time. We are self-important, right? Like, we act like what's happening is the most important thing in the world because we actually believe it.
Yeah.
And, like, we're that hype and it's genuine. And we're talking about the technical aspects because we think that stuff is so important. It's so intricate, and it's what comes to our mind first, right?
Yeah.
So when people watch our commentary and our content, they don't understand it, right? But that's okay, because you know what? People don't understand Dota and League of Legends either when they first watch it. But those games are still big. Why? Because they seek to understand it. Because they watch that and they're like, okay, I kind of want to figure out what the big deal is about, right? What is the big deal about this? Whereas a lot of the way Smash 4 is casted and presented is more of like a popcorn sort of thing, where it's like, hey, here's the less serious. It's hard to call it that because many of them, they all care about it, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
But here is the funny, jokey way of presenting the game, right? And it's very, the way they do it is very funny, and I love the presentation, but without the hardcore storylining that like weaves it all together, it's hard for people to know, especially now that Zero isn't winning as dominantly as he used to, what the point is, right? Like, At the beginning, you're like, oh, I want to see if Zero will win or lose, right? That's the point of the tournament. Now it's like, I don't know, right? And when that's not weaved together, I think that really keeps people, it doesn't make people look forward to the next tournament. Maybe they'll look forward to the next joke, but they won't look forward to the next tournament.
Yeah, they're gonna look for the next meme they can tell their friends.
Right, and when it's a meme-based culture, it's like it's kind of cool in the sense that does spread social interaction, but it doesn't increase the level of competitive respect that a Twitch viewer will have. And Melee's got that in spades. Like there was a time where it didn't, but at this point, like people just from other esports just go, Melee, that game's godlike, and they put up their hands. Smash 4 should try to earn that same sort of respect and understanding from the people. If they actually believe their game is that good, they should try to get that kind of understanding, and they should try to relay that high-level message. But honestly, I'm a Smash player, and I watch Smash 4 commentary, and I don't know why it's so cool often.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was godlike. I hear them yelling, and I hear a bunch of jokes, but I don't know why that play was amazing. And I kind of want to know that, right? Yeah. I want to know that for me to be invested, and I think that they can improve on that.
I think to be fair for them, they've been going through a lot of patches, so I don't think it's really meaningful. Now they're stabilizing, but like last year, how important was learning frame data when like the next patch would change everything?
True. Sean makes a great point. 2GG does a great job in creating storylines. That is true. That's one of the examples of shining moments of success, and I think a lot of people should try to take that model. I'd like to remind people, though, that the 2GT model is a very temporary model, kind of like how maybe SSS was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In the sense that you can only do locals that sort of pretend to be majors for so long until the scene catches up. Yeah. And then when there becomes enough majors, right, then the local no longer can kind of put up that front, right? Can no longer provide that level of storylining. You can no longer like fly out someone from Japan to effectively a local event because they have a major to go to instead, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good stopgap solution. It's a great way of storyline stuff. But at the end of the day, if they want to advance, they're going to have to start making their majors and their locals.
Yeah. Let's see. Thoughts on weed maps in Smash 3? I was pretty sure we're going to get this question at least once.
Also, Blur, you're not a better commentator than D1. Chill there, Boyo. I never said that. Did I say that?
You never said...
I said I was a better player. And I am a better commentator than D1 too also, so screw you. I can do what I want. I run this. Anyway, weed maps.
I mean, it fits our demographic, so it makes sense that... I'm not sure how the conversation happened, but if Weed Map said to Smash Summit, or the Summit guys, hey, you target our demographic, are you interested in...
This is pretty funny, right? Like,
yeah, I think it's funny.
It's funny. If they want to support, that's hilarious. As long as no one gets in trouble for it. Yeah. I don't know of any... I don't know why. I don't know. You know? Weed maps. I don't actually think there's anything else to say about it. Yeah. Weed maps. Okay. I guess I'll be plugging that on camera. Yeah. That's going to be happening.
That's going to be so funny. I think I can't wait for the memes that will, come about out of this event. It'd be funny if we did a Last Stock Legends skit or something on Weed Maps.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think we can think of stuff. We
can get, if Johnny gets in.
Oh, Johnny.
Really writes
yeah. And Drug Fox, that'd be good. Who wins Marth v Falcon? Neutral game, probably Marth. Combo game, probably even. And probably Marth. Yeah. But in reality, Falcon. So it's like one of those things, right? And if people were good enough, probably Marth. Because they're not, heavily Falcon. Yeah. It's very difficult.
I think in paper, Marth wins, slightly, but human level, I think human level is very applicable here. Just making a mistake with Marth is just so brutal.
It's brutal. But so it is also with Falcon. Marth can actually destroy Falcon. Yeah.
But Marth's thing could be he accidentally lifts something and then gets stomped.
And also, if he messes up in mid combo, he has a Falcon at 120%, and now he can't do anything. Yeah. Now, if he does a perfect combo and he ends it perfectly with a pivot tipper and beautiful up air, weak up air string into amazing combo, then no, he can finish stocks just fine. He has no arthritis at all. But if he doesn't and he messes up, then he faces some.
The consequences of messing up are so brutal for Marth, is I think the issue. All right. Yeah. Have we seen Thorn's greatness is more than titles? Do you agree that greatness isn't just the numbers of titles won, but how they won them? I think the rings argument is very applicable here.
I think the rings argument is extremely applicable here. I think greatness,
because we don't think Robert Ory is the best player in
of all time, but he's very good. He is really good.
But you wouldn't say he's Jordan.
No, obviously not. And very similarly, I don't think that I also don't think getting second is necessarily always better than third. Or fourth, right? In some competitive formats. In the way the NBA's formed, I feel like sometimes the team that goes out in
the Western Conference
Finals or the semifinals, depending on how things shook out, is the second best team in the league, not the one in the finals. Yeah. That's usually the case in the NBA because of a broken format. But, that's common in their case, right? And in Smash's case, it's very much about how you won. I do think, as impressive as it was, Mutagen's win and shine, I don't value it as much as
Leffen's Gommel.
I have a hard time valuing it as much. Yeah. I do think he did very well. I do think it's important, but to me, I can't value it as highly, right? Yeah. Simply because of who he beat. If you list out the people he beat for the year, it won't be as impressive side by side. With that shine out line.
Even look at our winner semis where it was Armada Mango on one side and SFAT Ice on the other. It's which side is a lot harder? Well, yeah. So yeah, we do agree with this sentiment. Context is important. I think
context is super super important.
All right, Mafia's leading in the Summit vote. What are your thoughts on that? I think that's cool.
That's funny. It won't last. English says, someone else. Satchel Pay says, stop using the team sports analyst and non-team sport. Use boxing or tennis or MMA. We would if we knew more about boxing, tennis, or MMA. I do know quite a bit, but
boxing doesn't have a bracket, so that's not a.
Boxing doesn't have a bracket to show matches. Tennis is really close to how Smash is run in the sense that they have individual tournaments and things like that. MMA, similarly like boxing, is hard to compare. So we would, but basketball is more fun because we both like basketball.
We love basketball.
And I know Taff will at least understand my analogy, so that works the best.
And I'm pretty sure like a fourth of you guys in this stream also know
basketball. Is more popular. If I give you guys a tennis example, freaking 3/4 of you won't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Even though tennis is dope, you should watch tennis.
Let's see. So if he does get in, kudos to New England. They banded together. New England comes in pretty strong.
Sure, last dope peach, man. If he gets in, props to him. I'll hang out with him. He's a good guy. I like him.
I'll play some Marvel 2 with him.
Nice.
Let's see. I'm subbed to the Miam Twitch channel. Is my money better served subbing Taffo or Blur or since Miam? So Miam and my channel.
Finish the sentence. Since Miam is all but a meme now. What a question. I love it. I love the tone of it. And I love that you recognize that MIOM doesn't exist except for a freaking Connor joke. And it hasn't for a long time.
Damn. Depends on which emote subs you are. I'm working on a Taffo stat sub. If you want to support Blur, support Blur. He doesn't get much love. So yeah, ultimately, I think the deciding factor here is that Miom or my channel both they end up going to me. And so there's that. And if you want to support Blur, support Blur.
Yeah, Taffo runs the Miom channel, kind of like how I run the Team Oxy channel. So in many ways, if you're talking about supporting us, subbing to Team Oxy or Crimson Blur does the same thing.
Yeah. And
subbing to Miom and Tafokins does the same thing. Support both of us, dude.
Yeah.
We're cool. We're chilling. It's not a big deal.
You can get a 2-for-1 for $10 a month.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Obviously, we got plenty of money. It's not about that, really. It's just kind of encouraging to know that people like your content. Well, that's kind of what it is about to me. It's like when if I stream for like 4 hours and no one subs or does anything, it's kind of like, do people even like this?
Dude.
Am I talking in the air? Does it
Yeah, it kind of gets demoralizing sometimes when I'm streaming a lot. People like the content, but then I see everybody else at like 3 digits and I'm like trying to get to like 35.
It's like, dude, it's part of the fun of streaming. It's not like it's a big deal.
But then I could stream more. So
like $5 is, unless it's a lot. Hey, if $5 is a lot of money to you and you're struggling for money, do not sub. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if it, for most people, it's not that big a deal. So I don't feel bad when people sub for me. I feel like, hey, dope, thank you. But when no one does it for like 4 hours, you're like, well,
dude,
what am I even doing this for right now?
It's like I come into a gunfight with all the other streamers, and I have a knife, and they have bazookas. I'm just like,
yeah.
And they're like,
I shouldn't say, what am I not doing this for right now? I'm doing it because I just like to entertain. I like to spread knowledge. I'm doing it because it's fun.
And it's encouraging.
It encourages it, though. It makes me know that it's not just fun for me, it's fun for other people.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
And it's like a reciprocal, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little loop.
So, in our opinions, what do we think are the 5 most important tournaments in Melee history in terms of impact on the scene?
Oh, that's a hard list.
Game Over.
Is Game Over more important or GG6?
I think Game Over.
Game Over is probably the most important, right?
Yeah.
Game Over is 100% on the list. Evo 2013, 100% on the list. Genesis 1.
Yeah.
Has to be on the list.
Everything else has importance, but like...
MLG playoffs.
Vegas or playoffs?
They're both similarly important. I'd probably playoffs, right?
Revival Melee.
And ROM, yeah?
Yeah.
So probably that 5. ROM, MLG playoffs, Evo 2013, Genesis 1, and Game Over. We didn't pick anything in the last 2 years, though. There's been a lot. It's hard to be as era defining nowadays because there's another tournament the next weekend.
Yeah.
So realistically, those events did a lot historically for making the scene what it is. Like without Game Over, there might not be a scene.
Yeah.
And it's funnily named Game Over in that sense, but it was really Game Start.
Yeah.
In a way. Game Begin, not Game Over.
We should just call it 3, 2, 1, go or something.
3, 2, 1, go or something. FC3 is a really good choice.
FC3 is really
FC3 is very important. The East Coast West Coast crew battle was iconic and will be remembered forever. FC3 is probably somewhere in that list. So
I love Prince of Boo.
Sure. Press Start and Game Over should change names. That's a very good
thank
reason.
you, Paper Fairy, for subbing.
Thanks, homie.
We know that Prince of Boo doesn't believe in analysis. That's pretty cool. All right. Do you think Melee would still be as big without the current storylines?
No, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Is the NBA going to be as fun to watch next year? No.
I mean, if you had zero context to like the NBA and like they reset and like none of the players had any history and it was their first season, like no one would be interested.
Yes, and if they were reset into the teams they are now, especially no one would be interested because it's stupid and no one likes it and the league is broken and every fan is complaining all around the world except for in one city where they're not complaining at all. but you know that's how it goes, right? People watch competitive games and sports when they're competitive and when they have something going for them, where they have something to cheer for. That's just a natural human emotion.
Would I care about SKT playing in League right now if there's no context to it? I would not.
Right. You know that SKT has won 2 Worlds.
Yeah.
And they're going for their 3rd, so it's important. And you know, Faker's legacy, all the stuff that they pump up in League, you know how important that is, and what it means to you, and all that. And in Melee, we have 1,000 storylines that are similarly displayed and talked about on this show and others. That I think that bring the fans.
I mean, another example: baseball. Chicago Cubs haven't won in like 100 years. It's like that's hype. Like if they get to the World Series, I'm probably going to be watching because I'm going to wonder, are they going to win?
Edmund Budding doesn't make any sense. The Big House 4 is important not just because it was a dope tournament. It proved Smash could run large-scale events on their own even without EVO and MLG. What? We already proved we could host large-scale events for a decade without EVO or MLG. You know that the FCs were bigger than the MLGs, right? Like, in terms of attendance. FC was freaking huge.
Yeah, MLG wasn't even that big.
By 07? No.
I mean,
you guys got to remember, MLG as a company is not the MLG as you see now, which is a big corporate entity. Back then, MLG is a very different thing than
but, I mean,
current
MLG Anaheim in 2014 wasn't a big tournament.
MLG Anaheim in 2014 was worse than tournaments we host all the time.
Like, MLG Anaheim was smaller than Pound.
The old EVO 2007 was worse than tournaments we host all the time. And, you know, I don't really understand that. We're already doing stuff for a decade.
Scaling makes
large scale as in 500 plus people. We had 500 plus main events all the time.
I mean, wasn't Apex?
Yes.
Apex got to 500 before.
Yeah.
So Apex arguably was like the same level as Big House 2014.
Yeah.
Apex 2014.
Adam then says, Blur, I love you in the KOC series. That's not what this is about. I literally didn't even bring that up. But to the Big House, it was a 500 plus person event. KOC is interesting. KOC matters much less about attendance. It's like a really cool party experience.
I mean, we advertise ourselves as a regional.
Yeah, it ended up being more like a major always with the attendance, but it's like more of a party, like a bar thing, like a fun thing for people to have. It's not about getting 3,000 people. It's about, you know, it's a very different experience. Just like you don't judge Summit based on its live attendance. You just don't do that. It's not what the type of event it is.
I love Big House 4 top 8 though.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite top 8 of all.
It was a great event. But it's not one of the 5 most important events in Melee history. It's not even top 10.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a great event, not top 10.
All right, what do we think it would take for top level touring from world class players to be? I'm jealous that Zero to Hero got taken from me. I'm so sorry. Edmund Budding actually took the Zero to Hero this time. You know, to be honest, top players don't really plan ahead that well.
I think top player coaching would be it does for the most part probably bad. Now coaching really good,
but lesson structure planning.
But lesson structure planning, someone who actually focuses on your development. You know, I would go for people who aren't necessarily as skilled at the game, like Cactuar. You know, Cactuar isn't as good as
you wouldn't take PP.
Oh, PP for sure.
Yeah,
but there's differences, right? I would rather learn from Cactuar than I would from Mutaking. In many ways.
Yeah.
Like in extraordinary ways, right?
With Mutaking, you'd have to structure everything based on Mutaking's personality. Mutaking would not do anything.
Right, and I would also rather, you know, like there's people who are much better at communicating points and general things.
Ooh, I would love KK.
And focusing on your development.
Dude,
KK is good.
If you got anybody for an 8-week lesson structure, being that you're a Marthman, who would you pick? Would it be Cactuar?
PP.
It would be PP. Okay, that makes sense.
Very clearly PP. I like Cactuar too, but we already talk a lot, so it's kind of it wouldn't be as effective for me. But me and PP, like, we posted on Smashboards together, but we didn't connect like that.
You know, Johnny is actually low key really good.
Johnny pretty good at that, yeah.
If I were Falcon, I'd easily pick Johnny.
Yeah. So top level tutoring is it says from a world class player. That's less important than if they're a top level tutor, and I think there's like a handful of those actually in the scene who do a really good job. I think we're among them actually. Yeah. I think we'd be pretty good at it.
Yeah, I think the big thing is like the difference between. I'm assuming like you're probably like most people who'd be interested aren't making it out of pools and majors, and the difference between a guy that's like top 5 in the world and top 15, if you look at like the scale of things, is very negligible.
Oh yeah.
Like in fact, I think a person that's like 1 to 2 levels ahead of you, like at your local scene, would probably be your best tutor.
Yeah. Edwin Bunning says you can't count Apex as similarly important because Apex was terribly ran unsustainable. Edwin Bunning, Apex, the latest Apex might deserve to be on that top 5 list. It was very, 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 very important for the scene. It consolidated a lot of the power in the scene and made TOs finally work together for the first time. It showed that we were able to think and work on our feet to resolve a disaster. And it was important because it killed our flagship. Because the Apex brand has not been the same ever since 2015. It was important because we no longer have the Apex of old.
I think
that's almost important in its own way.
In a strange, ironic twist, it took a disaster to unite everybody.
It really did unite everybody.
So, like, I mean, I think we should talk about that for a bit, because Apex 2015, that venue died, and then we had the Illuminati huddle, and literally it brought everybody together. Like, it was like the most beautiful, like, 12-hour stretch.
Yeah, so, like, we've always had a very strong Melee leadership, a Smash leadership in Illuminati. We've had that for a long time. It's gotten stronger over time. So if you guys want, like, a little bit of background on Smash leadership, like a basic history of how it goes, the first beginnings were, like, when M3D, which is, by the way, the same guy as from Wave Dash Games, and the MLG folk started bringing the scene together. Gideon, who made Smash boards, and the homies like Scav had a really large role to play in the beginning formation of the scene, and then we made a Melee backroom. Guys like Cactuar started being more active, and then we started going from the M3D era of like kind of leading the scene into the Alpha Zealot era of leading the scene. And
who was also there?
Who's now also on Pokemon Company. So he started really leading the scene and forming the scene during around the 06-07 era. Found a lot of success. That's like during the golden age. You can thank Alpha Zealot a lot for that because he was really the guy behind the scenes doing a ton of the work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the Illuminati formed. The Illuminati kind of then died when Alpha Zealot kind of gave up on the scene. He moved on. He moved on. Brawl kind of lowered a lot of people's interest, and then it was kind of rebuilt. Me, Joe Guy, Gimmer,
Sheridan, Bobby.
Less so at the beginning. That kind of happened more in the last 2-3 years, right? Start rebuilding it, and then now that's been layered on with people as time has gone on. But so yeah, Smash leadership has taken a turn, but Apex 2015 really consolidated it, where everyone got in a room and realized this is a disaster. We have to get organized very quickly, and we have no set structure. Let's make a set structure on the spot, right? So we designated leaders for certain tasks, and people got in line. And that actual structure has been used almost ever since, right? Like, people have been listening. Like, the structure that was created internally from Apex is still being used to this day to make decisions because we had to make it on the spot, and it worked. Yeah. Right?
And to kind of go back to Big House 4, like, yeah, it has a good standard of excellence for TOs, but now most events just hire a Nintendo or Juggle Guy to run their events.
Yeah, like, the event game has changed very drastically. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to run a bracket out in my life again. Yeah. I don't see why I would. Like, even for Blood, I'm going to be running a lot of stuff, but I was like, hey, Sheridan, hey, Matt, here you guys go. You guys do a lot of the logistical work for me because it's just easier, and they're very good at it, obviously. And I think that part has changed. So I think a lot of that game has changed because people realize you can just hire TOs.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. That's pretty good.
I mean, if you want to save yourself like 500 hours of headache, hire Juggle Guy.
Just hire an expert. Turns out.
Yeah. It turns out Justin from SmashCon knew what he was doing by getting the right people.
Just hire.
What do you guys think Canada Cup has low attendance numbers when a 5,000 prize pot is advertised? Well, first of all, how many people does that 5,000? How many people can realistically win that $5,000 pot?
So this is a thing that I believe about Smash in general. I think that Prize pots shouldn't really drive our advertising ever. We're already in a good spot that it doesn't. In that, I don't think people go to events because of a 10K or 30K prize pot. The top level go, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they're already going, like, our business model is based on venue fees. If I look at that $5,000 prize pot and I already see 16 of the top 20 people there, I'm not seeing any part of that prize pot, and I'm sure everybody's thinking the same thing.
Right. So, in many ways, we need to incentivize those top people to go anyways. Maybe you have a prize pot. Maybe you have a way to give them money. Maybe you have a way to give them ways to find success, but you don't make it a core part of your advertising, because I don't think that appeals to the Smash consumer. I don't think the Smash consumer gets hype over $5,000 prize pot. I think they get hype over our friendlies room. I think they get hype over dope staging. They get hype over production values. They get hype over
having 100 setups.
Having 100 setups, a lot of setups. They care about things like the friendlies ladder stuff that Big House did. They get hype over the lane shift stuff that Shine did. They get hype over like very core stuff that helps them get better as a player, and things that are ancillary to the event, like merchandise, that being able to do like live concerts like SmashCon does, like all these sort of things that make the event experience a little bit better. That go beyond just a simple $5,000 prize pot.
I mean, and the thing is, like most events, I think if you maxed out on everything else, the user experience, the production, and you still had money left over, then fine, go for the prize pot. But that's not the case with all these events.
Again, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have a prize pot. I'm just saying it shouldn't be part of their advertising. There's a difference, right? Like, have a prize pot, attract top players, that's fine. But I think it's a very big trap for Smash to go in if we do the standard esports advertising of being like, and watch your favorite players compete for $100,000 on the main stage at Anaheim Convention Center. It's not really hype to me. Like, to me, that's just like really soulless and doesn't really do it for me. Maybe I'm different, but it just feels like trying to be something you're not.
It would have to be an absurd amount. And
yes, and even that doesn't add hype to me. I care much more if it's an absurd amount. Let's say it's $1 million prize pot, right?
That would be pretty hype.
Okay, $1 million would be crazy. It'd be pretty hype. It'd be pretty hype in its own way. But I'd also think I care more that they're winning the championship, because that $1 million tournament would be the championship, right?
Yeah.
I care more that they're winning the championship than I care about they're winning $1 million.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. I would actually be curious to see how a $1 million prize pot would affect their gameplay.
They'd mess up a lot.
They'd be like doing super conservative,
right. Dude, people would be camping so hard.
So how much does a great tournament like Ice at Big House 6 catapult a player in the eyes of sponsors? What does a player have to do to capitalize on it?
I think it does catapult him a lot. I think that he's in a weird position because he's in Europe, so he pretty much has to get mostly European sponsors would need to pick him up. It helps with things like visa fees and taxes, and also it helps with just like European teams like to pick up European players, like they like the nationalistic stuff.
Yeah.
So that helps, and then also American teams generally don't like taking on the burden of flying out a German guy to America 10, 11 times a year, right? So that financial burden for ICE gives him makes him much more burdensome to have as a player than, let's say, Swish Delight, who, though you can argue who's better or worse as a player, it's just cheaper to fly out to events because he lives in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Right? So he has that big hurdle to go over, and also the fact that he frankly doesn't post much on social and doesn't do much on Twitch.
So here's how he could have leveraged it. He could put up a vlog right after Big House.
Oh yeah, he could put up a vlog about my Big House experience. Let me talk to you guys about how exciting it was.
Like if he streamed,
he doesn't even need to produce it. One of his fans will definitely put up a camera and talk about him. But people aren't really proactive enough to think like that. Still, he's very likely going to get sponsored because he's basically at a point where he's too good not to get sponsored. He doesn't do all that stuff. Great, he's going to get paid less, but he's still going to get sponsored, right? So all the other stuff, we just get him paid more, but he'd still get sponsored. I'd like to see him take a more active role in building his brand in many ways.
Yeah, so it kind of brings the right ingredients are there, and he could have leveraged it to make a gourmet dish.
Yeah.
So. But so it's just not. I mean, if you want, he could have exponentially made his.
The whites don't believe their lies. Next,
he could have exponentially had an opportunity to grow his brand through this, and he didn't take it.
Yeah,
it's the big thing. It does help, but if you don't take action, it doesn't do do too much. Are we worried about weed maps in Nintendo going the wrong way? I'll answer this.
Go ahead.
So
we already talked about this, but go ahead.
If Nintendo wants to complain, they can definitely do more for us, because the way I view it, this is my opinion, not Blur's, is that if Nintendo, it's like me going to college and self-supporting myself. I got the scholarships, I earned the sponsors that would get me to college, and then my dad saying, no, you can't go to that college, you have to go to this one, but not providing me any support. So TLDR, Smash Summit does a great thing to fund their own events with sponsors that are willing to pay money, and if Nintendo wants to say anything, then they got to put up or shut up, is my opinion on it. So, how much does HBox play against players outside of tournament? Do you think he will start to do that more since he's dedicating himself to Melee? How do you think that could affect the scene at all? So my experiences these are from my experiences. From what I see, HBox at majors tends to just play his pools and his events. He's in a lot of events, so he doesn't really have time to play people in extended sets if fans want to do it. And if he needs practice, he mostly goes to Captain Crunch and plays with him. Is that the vibe that you get with HBox's interactions with like playing against other people at tournaments?
Yeah. Yes.
And that's fair. That's his routine to get into game shape.
Yeah, I don't know how much he does. I don't know how much he does. Anyway, let's just keep going.
All right.
I'm trying to resolve some stupid stuff.
All right.
The classic stupid stuff.
Okay, I'll keep.
Wes is saying he doesn't have he's not going because of a freaking ride, and I've already offered him a flight a couple times. Like, just let me buy you a flight and you can come.
Is the production of TBH6 a new standard for tournaments?
No, but it's a step forward. We're gonna definitely do a bunch of different stuff as we move forward. But I think that we needed this experiment to figure out what we do right and what we did wrong.
It's a step in the right direction. We're evolving with the growing pains of it, but I think it's something we need to keep doing, experimenting with.
Yeah. Zon Tiger says, "Why are you mad, Blur?" Should I go off? Because I can go really off right now.
Well, why don't we save that? We'll blitz through the next bunch, right?
No, I'm just gonna fucking go off. I can't hold it in, Tafo.
Okay. To be fair, I know what's exactly going on with him, and we're good friends. I feel really bad. You know what? You're a nice guy. You've taken a lot. You need a vent once in a while.
It's all I fucking do. That's all I do. I show up to work like 16-hour days, go to sleep, come back and go to work, go to events on the weekend. That's all I do, right?
Yeah.
Not asking much. Just say, month in advance, I know all of you guys have the weekend free. Please go to this event. All of them are like, oh, sick, nice. Oh, yeah, it's awesome. Oh, nice, awesome, we're going to go. Cool, Blur. Let's move forward with this. Fantastic. Awesome. And the next month is like me, pulling teeth out to try to get these motherfuckers to my event, right? Like, how ridiculous is it that nowadays it's 2016. 2009, you just host a banger, they show up, right? 2016, you better make them breakfast, you better give them nice words, you better buy their flight, you better give them a hotel, you better give them a pillow, you better give them that. Who do these guys think they are? All of those guys got signed by me. I literally gave them all their team contracts. Partnered every single one of those streamers. All their events, I'm running them. It's like, I asked for one thing. And this is the treatment I get. Mango Stream. He's like, oh, it'd be so funny if we just don't show up. We'll see how Blur takes it. All right, well, how funny it will be if I just walk out the door. I'm moving on to Brood War. What if that happens? That'd be so funny. That'd be hilarious.
I would love Brood War HD, man. I'd watch.
You think Jadong would treat me like this? I don't think so.
You would actually deal with Jadong.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You deal with.
In fairness, Luckiest Broke, as Koi100 says, I got him a flight. I bought him a flight. I was like, whatever, I don't care. You should have told me earlier, so it was a $150 flight instead of $400 flight. But I'll buy you a flight. I don't care. Just show up. If you got a problem, tell me about it, and I can make it happen. The problem I have is when people I've known for years treat the profession differently and with less respect in 2016 than they did in 2009, when it's much more important to be a professional now than it ever was, right? When they don't treat what they're doing full time with respect, and and they don't treat the people they're working with respect, and they don't, right? If I'm entering like this, you guys think random Colorado TO is being treated with like anything? No. You know what? If they're sick, they're sick. I believe them, and I think that's great. But what I do also know is I got 15 other excuses along the way, right? And what I know is that, look, it's the type of event where it's a hostile environment, where it can be really stressful to come in, especially after an event like Big House, and compete in, because you know you're going to probably be ridiculed if you lose, right? There's a lot of pressure on that, and I understand that. And I understand if they're scared. I understand it. But at the end of the day, without how many excuses I had to wade through from like 10 different people, I'm not calling out any single one person out. It tells me all I need to know about what they think about how good NorCal is. It tells me all I need to know about this event, and this event actually proved the point that NorCal was making it the whole time. It proved everything, right? And that's what saddens me. That's what saddens me. Is I care more about SoCal than any of these motherfuckers. That's what saddens me. So
is that going to be the intro clip to Blood for Blood tomorrow?
I don't know if I want to host a tournament ever again in my life. There was a time in this world where TOing was unprofitable but satisfying. The world has changed. TOing is now unprofitable and unsatisfying because you have to deal with all these divas who don't respect the game and the viewers enough to understand that there are real consequences to when they don't show up, right? When they don't do their duty. Now, look, it's another thing if just one of them show up. It's another thing, right? But when I have to deal with stuff like, hey, at Big House, we don't want to play in the crew battle. If that's a thing, right? That's a thing that people donate for, that people put up a pot for, and all those things, then how are you supposed to grow the scene, right? Unless you start taking measures like real sports do, like doing fines. Hey, you don't show up to the crew battle, guess what? Half your prize winnings goes away. You could do that. That's a fine, right? That's a thing that can happen. But no one wants to go to that point. Start taking some responsibility. It's fine. NorCal's going to get a dope event. It's going to be an amazing event regardless.
There's 500 people.
There's 500 people. It's super stacked. It's going to be an amazing show. But people you thought you could count on, you can't count on, and that's what we learned today, and we're moving on from it.
I guess the best analogy is that Blur ran a birthday party. A very passionate birthday party.
Wes, I will fly you out. I literally said that on Facebook. It's fine. I will fly you.
Blur ran a birthday party and none of his friends.
All of NorCal showed up. They didn't have any problem with it. The month in advance, no problem for them. Interesting how that works. Shambles, bro.
Well, so Wes is, chatting in the stream. So, I guess Wes is flying?
Huh?
Wes is flying?
If he wants it.
Alright, no hate brigade in the chat for Wes.
Don't hate him. Just check your Facebook.
Alright. Anyway, no witch hunts, guys. Wes and Blur
We'll figure it out.
Point
it out. is I'm sick of dealing with this, and I don't see why anyone would host tournaments if they have to deal with this crap. Like, why? Why does anyone host tournaments?
Yeah.
Why? They don't make money. Like, why? Why would you ever host a tournament? What, are you crazy? Like,
it's like raising a kid. Like, after a while, like, you haven't done it, you kind of miss raising a kid. You kind of miss going to school, and then you have to take the exam. You have to actually deal with raising a kid, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Why do you... Anyway, Wes falls in fire. I love that meme.
That's a great meme. I love Wes. Wes is actually one of my favorite people in the whole community. I'm not even talking about him. He's been pretty responsible. Wes, if anything, has been better than the rest of these guys.
Yeah, Wes goes to a lot.
Wes is my road dog, homie. I love Wes, so I'm not even talking about him. So don't get misconcepted.
Yeah.
Guys, me and Wes, I would take a bullet for Wes Bowles.
They've been friends since the Oxy days.
But I don't know if I would,
Would you take a bullet for me?
Huh? Taff, I'd take a bullet for you.
I would for you too. You're rising up my tier list. So like, if I get married, you might be in the bridal party, assuming that you don't have an event to run.
I'm getting his freaking details.
Anyway.
What else do you need other than birthday and full name?
Birthday, full name. I mean, if you want to go that.
By the way, that's the only way I got the 2 guys I ended up getting, is by going on Joey's stream and literally blowing him up because he said he was too sick to go and he was streaming, and then now this.
Wedding party. My bad. You'd be a part of the wedding party.
That's what it's come down to. It's just how it is now. We've talked about the player TO dynamic in 2016, and it's never been more absurd. It's all I really have to say. It's never been more absurd.
Yeah, I mean,
he hosts an absolute banger.
I've interacted with you enough. I've interacted with Jogo Guy. I've interacted with the Genesis crew.
They all hate it.
I've interacted with Shine.
Ask any TO. The only one that actually goes on the mic is me. But ask any TO how absurd it's gone lately, and it's gone absurd.
Yeah, if you ask them like what how great their job is, and I think the top player interaction is probably their least. And you talk to a lot of them.
And I want to be clear. Some of the guys I'm talking about are some of the best of the bunch. Wes is amazing.
Yeah.
I love Wes. Wes is one of my best friends of the community. I know Wes would do a lot for me that a lot of other people wouldn't, right? So I'm not talking... You guys, please don't take it on specifics. Yeah. It's more how much... Like, let me put it this way. A TO, right, has to deal with 1,000 things in life, right? Like, for an event. And yet... Many players expect that TO to personally message them and give them their event schedule, or else they won't show up, right? Because they'll be like, oh, yeah, you never told me I had to be there at 6. I'm like, everyone else just looked at Smash GG in their brackets to be there at 6. Why do you need me to do that step for you? You didn't need me to do that step for you last year. Where did that change?
Or they text message the TO at 3 a.m.
Something like that, right? Like, oh, I can't make it. Oh, I'm dropping out of this. Or I'm doing this. It's like, we flew you out through a compendium. Fans paid for this. And you're sitting in a hotel room. Like, dude, it's lame, bro. It is lame. So, Paper Fair says, as a TO working with top players, literally cancer. It's gotten bad, man. They're great people. That's the sad part. But it's gotten real bad.
I think the conversation is extended to like, yeah, I know people are feeling under the weather, but I
believe them. I think they were. Yeah. I don't doubt that.
But
I also know there was 4 months of them whiffing, going back and forth.
Yeah,
on
that's why I'm trying to bring it to a bigger picture where registration, for example, for a lot of these events, G3. I've talked to them. It's pulling teeth to get them to register and to do things. Why
don't they register early? They know it's good for the community.
And then
if I was a top player, I would literally register the moment that the registration goes up. It's good for the scene.
Or even Grace from Smash Summit can't seem to get any of the players to sign their waiver forms since it's already been like a week.
Things like that.
Like, she's pulling her hair
It's
out
crazy when Dota is being compared Dota kids are being compared favorably to us. Dota kids get paid millions of dollars. They are the ones that should be divas, not us. What is going on?
Yeah.
What is going... And you know what it is? You know what's a big cultural thing about it that has contributed to it? And I don't mean to call him out in particular, but I didn't like the way he phrased it. In Leffen's video, before going to Big House, there was a phrase he used that he used to justify everything. And he said, I don't play for my fans. I don't play for the people. I don't play for anyone but myself and therefore I'm justified in everything I do. And that is such a corrosive mentality if it spreads scene-wide, because the fact of the matter is, like I've said many times, this community got here because we're not only playing for ourselves, because we're playing for each other, because we're trying to make ourselves bigger, right? And if everyone thought that, guess what? There's nothing. And if enough top players think that, guess what? There's nothing, right? And that's when it's becoming so hard for the people who are actually trying to grow the scene, because there's enough people who only care about themselves, then yeah, that's a problem, and yeah, we're going to have to solve it. Because there are responsibilities to growing the scene, especially for a fledgling esport. We're not that big, guys. There are responsibilities because we're not that big. And we need to take those on and try to get bigger because of that. All I'm saying.
Yeah.
All I'm saying.
Well, I think the big thing here is that I could be wrong, but the general feeling I've gotten over this year is that top players, instead of saying, hey, I got you, I'll take care of this thing that can take a few minutes, like registration, but it seems like they go out of their way sometimes to flex their muscle and make it as difficult for the organizer when they're already under a lot of stress.
Wes, I genuinely love you. I'm actually sad that you were used as an example in this anyways, because I feel like you were just sick, and I love you. So don't get this twisted. You're literally not even the example in this. I'm just making a general sentiment on like 50 people, and you happen to be one person in the top 50. That's not doesn't mean you're part of it.
It'd be so funny if I'm still the only person that filled out the waiver form for Grace. I think I might only be the only person. Did you fill yours out?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
We
know.
waiver forms.
All right. Okay, so should we move on, or you said your thing?
Well, Wes, you're still going? All right, that's dope.
Okay.
Let's fucking win. Let's buy you a flight. Okay, please give me your information, Wes, and we'll move forward.
All right.
Wes and Lucky, two people I can fucking rely on.
To be fair, Johnny hasn't streamed that much this week at all.
Johnny actually, he also looked more like pretty sick too. So I don't want to hate on them because of that. I think it's very lame if I sit here and say, hey, these people that are sick, they're forced to go to a tournament. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm saying is that I was put through 4 weeks of this.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the point there. That's the point.
I'm not saying that like, oh, these last 2 days they got sick, whatever. It's the 4 weeks.
The whole process.
The process.
Right. Where you were the uncertainty and the non-communication.
How am I supposed to promote my event?
Yeah.
You know? And you know what? What I'm trying to say is that this is exactly why, like, in many ways, I could not host events, right? I have a Twitch job. I'm already running the scene in many ways. I'm already busy enough.
You already work 14-hour days?
I don't need to do this, right? Why am I doing this? Why am I crazy enough to do it? Because I think for me to truly lead the scene, I need to lead by example. I need to host events to understand these problems. I wouldn't have known just how frustrating it is, even though TOs around the country have been telling me how frustrating it is. I wouldn't have known just how frustrating it is unless I hosted my own event and realized, holy crap, even me, a guy who's known these guys for a decade, is having a hard time with this.
We should
right?
turn this into an Undercover Boss episode.
It's like it's kind of like Undercover Boss, right? Where the boss goes and, does the job for everyone else and realizes all the problems in his company.
Oh,
right?
The fry pan doesn't work.
The fry pan doesn't work. You realize the pains of a commentator by actually commentating. You realize the pains, like, I genuinely think that's important. I want to be a streamer because I want to realize the pains of a content creator. All this sort of stuff I want to do, and I spend extra hours to do it, and there's a reason for it, and there's the things I'm realizing as I go through the process. So, it ain't like it used to be, man. Hosting tournaments was so much easier before.
Yeah.
This is not even a hard tournament for me. 500-man tournament, you know how easy 500-man tournament... Give me 1 day and I host a 500-man tournament logistically. Like, for me, that's like... waking up tomorrow, I host a 500-man tournament. It doesn't take me any work, because I've done it so many times. But coordinating the players was 90% of the work, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I think there's Burbank to Oakland, right?
Yeah.
Burbank to Oakland's the way to go. I'm just talking about what's this thing. All right.
Yeah, Wes will get you.
All right. PPMD. Okay, we're going to move on. PPMD entertained the idea that Ansi comes back, instead of equally playing both mains like he did before, he will have one predominant main, maybe even dropping one of them. What do you think of this idea if he went with, would we choose Marth or Falco? I know you would choose Marth.
You'd probably choose Marth, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense because, like, I think people still have this, like, romantic idea that PP can just magically come up and win an event. I think that's so disrespectful to the other people that have gone a lot better since Apex 2015. I think it's hard to maintain and learn all the matchups and learn everything. So I think that going Marth and relearning what they're doing at the tip top is going to be better for him than to struggle through multiple matchups.
I need to buy Wes's flight.
Okay, I'll answer the question.
Can you answer the questions while I buy Wes's flight?
All right. Do we think any player that didn't get automatically invited to Summit should have been in place of Axe? You need character variety.
Axe is a great tab on here instead of my phone. It'll be faster.
All right.
But you just answer the questions.
All right, just move another tab in front of us.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Do I think the Summit 3 invitation list would have changed if it were made after Big House? I think the only big thing maybe is Swedish gets bumped in, but the other 10 should have been the same. Ice was impressive, but like I don't think it jumps him into the top 10 given his entire year and his summer that he didn't really do that much. So yeah, I mean maybe Axe gets bumped out for the 65th, but what betting odds would you or Blur need to bet on West Bulls beating Armada in a best of 5, like an X to X? Sorry, Wes, I probably need to take like 9-1 given your history with Armada. Although both have expressed this interest, do you think Left and Armada could benefit by moving to the U.S. for an entire year, or is Melee not there yet? I think Leftfin loves his hometown. He loves his girlfriend. I think Armada loves his family. I think they both love Sweden. So,
is there no October 14th flights right now?
I think you would have to call at this point.
There was a 9 o'clock flight.
Go to Southwest.
Someone help me find a flight.
Go to Southwest.
Southwest.com. Just .com. Try Burbank to either Burbank or SFO to or Burbank or LAX.
Well, so Burbank does a lot of flights to Oakland, and LAX does a lot of flights.
Oh, so I can do Oakland?
Yeah, that's probably why they don't have anything.
Oh.
They probably don't have an option, but Berkeley, just go Southwest.
Southwest. Burbank to Oakland?
Yeah.
Sorry, chat. We're getting things done. We kind of have to do it right now.
All right.
Return date 16. Wes, I got you leaving
Sunday.
Is that cool?
Search.
Let's see.
Go down. $224 for 905.
905?
All right, so he would literally need to leave right now.
He has to leave right now. Is there a later one? 9:30. Yeah, there is later ones.
That's for tomorrow.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only flight.
This one?
Yeah. 9:05. So he needs to go right now.
And 10:40 a.m.
Is he really gonna leave that early on Sunday?
105.
Do 3 o'clock.
3:55.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what this is. Go West, go.
Where's he staying tonight?
Good question.
Who's picking him up?
We'll figure it out. This is it.
All right. Wait, no, you have to type.
Oh, his name.
Oh my gosh.
Weston Dennis.
We were gonna put Aryan's name.
This is this.
All right, put his birthday.
I got his birthday.
We almost put Crimson Blur's name for the passenger.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty funny.
Dinner mail.
Give you your.
I'll do his email.
All right, we're buying West Balls' flight right now. All right.
This is for 9:35, so in 2 hours. So he should be able to make it.
All right, let me double check the passenger information. All right. Okay, credit card.
Let's do my PayPal.
No, it'll charge you after.
Huh? So it's your credit card?
No, PayPal. It will after it goes through this menu.
I
You'll
see.
type in your stuff. TV. Okay, go down. All right.
I don't think this is anything.
I don't think so. The Crimson.
Wes, I'm on your flight right now. I want you to confirm it before I spend money, though.
All right. He literally needs to go right now.
So it'd be you leaving at 3 o'clock on Sunday and 9:35 tonight.
Is it
At LAX, right?
9:05?
LAX, right? Was
Burbank,
it
Burbank.
Oh, Burbank. So it's good. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
9:05 p.m. tonight, right?
Wes, you just show up and it'll go in your email, I think, right?
Yeah, we're giving you your flight on email.
We gave you your flight.
Well, once we pay it, we will.
Yeah, it's in Burbank. It's in Burbank, so you're close.
But you will arrive in Oakland.
You arrive in Oakland, yeah, and we'll figure out a flight for you. We'll get like Brandon or something.
Yeah.
Someone will pick you up. So okay, just tell me okay, and I'll press buy.
It will email once we
Yeah,
click.
we haven't clicked it yet, so it will email to you. Just tell me yes.
After we pay it, but we're not going to pay until you say that's okay.
Just to make sure though that itinerary is good for you.
All right.
Let's do it. Done. Okay. Well, there we have it. And that was dramatic.
But it didn't need to be.
No, but
All
that
right.
was. All right.
Okay, you should be getting an email to you now. So you have 9:05 at Burbank Airport, and you will arrive in Oakland at 10 o'clock tonight.
Sick. Wes, it's 9:05.
Yes, you literally have to go right now.
You have to go right now. I thought it was 9:30.
No, it's 9:05.
It was 9:05?
You looked at the first thing tomorrow.
Oh, right.
It was 9:30.
Okay, well, you have an hour and a half, which should be fine.
Why is Wes streaming for 10 minutes?
Wes, don't stream for 10 minutes. You should go.
Why would you?
This is like the last play of the night. You should go. All right. And anyways, you leave 3 o'clock tomorrow. As you go back, you get to Oakland. So
Sunday. Tomorrow's Saturday.
Sunday, correct.
Like he leaves at the. We booked it so he leaves in the middle of the event.
Yeah. And we should also figure out someone to pick him up pretty soon. But we can do that after the show.
That's lower priority right now.
Yeah, anyway.
We just have to make sure he gets to the airport.
Wes, get to the airport.
We don't want you to be late because there's no later flight that you can get on. If
Literally, you have to go. Yeah.
Stream from the airport. Stream from your phone. Go on Facebook.
This guy's like a mercenary. He's just going to save SoCal. If Wes or Lucky wins, this is the best $800 I've ever spent in my life.
That'd be so funny if Twitch, like on Twitch, it notifies us that Wes went on stream right now.
That'd be very
and
funny.
then he came late.
Yeah, he lives 5 minutes away. He's gonna be fine.
Okay.
He's realistically fine.
Okay.
He's fine. And he doesn't need to pack much. It's just like a backpack.
That'd be funny if you forgot his controller.
You just need his controller. Controller, he's fine.
And he doesn't stink, so he doesn't need deodorant either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got Wes and Lucky, which is, arguably the two best players from SoCal out of the Mango. And Mango's not really part of the story, so we got the basic storyline still at least.
What's one idea that we would have to make the stream watching experience better?
Depends on what kind of stream you're talking about, right? Does Lucky have a teammate? I think he's with Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's with Reno. But good luck, Wes. It'll be fun. Anywho, back to the regular show, because we have a show here. It's a Q&A session before we went off. And I'm happy I didn't save going off until now. I'm not sure if we would have gotten West Balls unless I went off literally right then.
Yeah.
Because we would have missed the flight. So, there you go. Wes, yeah, he is with Reno. He confirmed it really late. but the brackets are being adjusted with him 3-0. At least I think so. Sheridan would know better. So if you want to ask how.
We're not in charge of brackets right now.
Yeah.
We're probably the wrong people.
Yeah. Anyway, the question was, what would make the streams better? Depends if you're talking about tournament, if you're talking about home streams, if you're talking about shows like this. I think the shows like this have a lot of improvement, but we're very lazy and we don't improve it at all. And so there's always improvements to be made. Tournaments, obviously, we've been making a lot of strides in that because that is our premium content. And home streams, there's a lot of different values there. I think each different one has a lot of things they can get better at. Like literally a list of like 20 things that we can go through. Home streams, my major thing is I feel like players need to make each match feel more important rather than just a random friendly. And I think ways to do that are maybe improve either Netplay ladder stuff. I know that a lot of people have been trying to like climb Anther's ladder, things like that. Or maybe through Smash EG, gamify friendlies a little bit so that people feel invested in who's winning the friendlies in a rotation or something like that. That would go a long way. For tournaments, there is so much we can improve in production value. You guys just saw the last Big House Top 8. At the moment, we iterate on an experiment. Now we need to start honing that, right? We need to reel it back and hone what we just did and make it better and make it a lot better. Because the core of what we did was bad but ambitious. So it was like one of those things, right? Like a lot of the elements were wrong and were in the wrong order and were kind of hodgepodge, but we needed to do it that way to really understand why it was bad. Yeah. And now we know better, so we're gonna improve upon that. So that's for tournaments, and finally for talk shows and segments like this. Sometimes it's about length, sometimes it's not. People actually do like the length of our show. Probably figuring out more unique segments to fill in, graphics, people to help us, honestly, things like that. We know that the number one thing that helps our show succeed is consistency, because people just want content, and they want it to be recent. And
we have a low baseline right now.
We have a super low baseline, and that's kind of what we like it. The reason why we haven't improved, I feel like, in many ways, is because we know that if we improve, we have to do it over and over again.
Yes.
Like, if we need to put thumbnails on our YouTube videos, that's going to stop us from doing a show. Because we're that stupid and we're that ridiculous, right?
No, it's because we're that busy, man.
We're that busy, right? So,
if this was a full-time gig for us, then we would invest a lot more.
We'd have a studio or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'd figure it out. But right now, consistency is our most important objective for both of us. Because people like it. People like the show regardless. They like it a lot.
And everybody likes Blur's length.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Sappho.
Who would win in a round robin? Mango, Big House 6, Armada G3, HBox Evo, and Leffen Gommel. Well, Mango's Big House 6, he didn't look very good, so I'm tossing him out. Like, he'd flat out lose.
You think he didn't look that good? Yeah, he did, didn't he? I thought everyone was weak in
I thought Armada was like a 6 out of 10.
I'm going to go with Evo HBox.
Evo HBox? Okay.
I think Evo HBox is the answer. Right?
Yeah.
I think Evo HBox is the clear answer.
I'll go with that.
Maybe Leffen Gommel.
Leffen Gommel was good.
But I'm going to go with HBox Evo.
Okay.
Definitely HBox Evo. He was absurd. He was so clutch. Very clean.
What are the responsibilities of a tournament organizer? I feel like we could save that question for like a you and Robin, a guest star Robin stream.
That might never happen though.
I can make it happen. I had Robin on for an hour when I was doing a fundraiser for Cosmonaut, and he explained a lot about Big House 5.
Interesting. So one thing I want to start doing at tournaments, I'm going to start making a thing from now on. And it's a promise to the people.
The premier events.
At premier events, I want to do maybe like an hour and a half meetup between the TOs. We say, hey guys, meet up by setup, blah blah blah, meet up here, and we'll have me, maybe Rob, whoever, and we talk about tournament organizing, very open format, not like a panel or anything, but just like, hey, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you want to know how to improve your scene, because at this point, obviously I have people who are, who just come up to me who are just like, hey, can you sign this? I like your commentary, can you blah blah blah, I like your show, whatever. I get that too, But the most thing I get is actually TO's coming up to me and being like, how do I make my stuff better? Blur, can you give me any advice? And I kind of want to like segment that and make that a thing so that TOs can talk to each other at events and really like share good ideas among the group and share feedback also to like guys like me and Rob, you potentially, whoever, so we can filter that up into like a more global initiative, right? Like, hey, if Nebraska is having this problem, how do we help Nebraska and what does it mean for the rest of the scene, right? And how do we do it to other regions like that? Because sometimes, you know, even though I'm pretty well connected across the scene, I don't know about like West Virginia's problems in 2016. I probably know about West Virginia's problems in 2015, last I asked, you know? But I don't know it as intimately for 2016, right? So, like, I want to know more, and I want to be able to help people out because sometimes I've gotten the feedback that simply like a 15-minute conversation changes their outlook on how they're shaping their event, right?
Yeah.
Because they just need that basic advice, and then they go off the ground running and they know what to do from there.
All right. Could players start banning Dreamland first against Hungrybox to get it out of the way? It puts pressure on HBox to perform well. I think the worst feeling in the world is being down 0-1 against HBox and then having dealing with this puff that is really good.
Start banning to Dreamland? Oh, so striking to Dreamland is what I said.
Yeah.
I like it actually. I think striking to Dreamland, is there a negative to it?
I mean, starting 0-1 is such a drag.
I think when you... Is it really such a drag? You get your counter pick. You feel like you've learned more. Like I in many ways, I feel like, especially if you're a player who doesn't have the opportunity to play against Hungrybox a lot, like don't you learn more from a Dreamland game than you do from a Yoshi's game?
But on the flip side,
because there's more data, right?
there's more data, but Hungrybox tends to do better as the set goes on. Like Hungrybox is a person that benefits more from data than his opponent.
That's probably true. But I think if you have confidence in yourself, you believe in your ability to adapt over his ability to adapt, or you're never going to win, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I think it's an unexplored strategy that people just generally haven't done yet. For whatever reason. It's pretty good.
But if you win on it, then you have to play on it again.
Yeah.
So
You have to do that anyway, once on his first counter pick.
yeah, but it gives him more...
He could do it twice.
It gives him a lot more of a share of going to Dreamland. Like, why would Dwan want to go there multiple times?
Well, he'd have to if he wins it. Anyway.
Yeah. But if he wins game 1, then he has to go there again. Like, he'd have to do
that anyways on game 3, 4.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Hungrybox can then do it 3 times in a row. But if you already beat him twice in a row on Dreamland, I don't think he's going back there.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's interesting. You know...
It's interesting. It could happen. I don't think people want to do it because it's exhausting.
All right, Bobby Scar comes to you and asks for the ideas for the Melee 2016 end of the year script. What storylines would you like to see unfold in the major returning tournaments?
Example: PPMD returns, Plupper SVAD win a major. Interesting.
I mean, if hacks can come out in cyborg form, I don't know.
I mean, my answer is always going to be the PPMD or hack stuff because I really want them to. Be able to return, right? I want them to be able to. Holy crap! A lot of questions. I want them to obviously be able to come back to the scene, and I think it's tragic that they aren't. So, those storylines would be great, right? So something like that. PPMD Craigasm.
I mean, I think at the end of the year, SVAT winning would be
great for him.
Like if he won UGX or Don't Park on the Grass.
Yeah.
Like, because in the beginning of summer, he said, I want to win a major.
Yeah. I mean, same with Plup, same with many of these other guys. Wes winning, Lucky winning, Wizzy winning, whoever. It'd be crazy.
Dude, what if an Ice Climber's just won?
I mean, if I could just write the script, I'd write myself winning the goddamn tournament. Right? No? Wouldn't you?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't write yourself winning the tournament?
It just... Because I feel like I'd be like, am I like, is this real? Like,
the answer is no. You wrote it in the script. I'd definitely write myself winning the tournament.
I mean, it definitely feels...
I'd win exactly one tournament because I can only write one in.
I feel like
it'd be great.
I feel like it's so unbelievable for me to win that like it would just not be a good story.
No, it'd be a great story. Are you kidding me? Out of nowhere, Taffel Kids takes out Armada. What? I'd be freaking out. If I won a major, what is that, 300k views?
I would I would quit Melee.
Huh?
I would quit.
Oh, I would definitely be like, oh, well, I guess now, not entering events anymore. I'm going to...
Okay, so that's like the
wrap
story
it
arc,
up.
right? How would you write the individual components? Like at 758 of the Dreamland match against Armada, what are you doing to win?
Oh, dude, I've already thought about this in the shower many times. I've already thought many times exactly how I want it to go down.
Can we get some fanfic for this?
Oh, yeah, dude. I am definitely down 170%. 4 stocks to 1. Armada is 4 stocking me on Dreamland. And then I go into prime blur mode. My eyes just turn like... I go like from blue to green. You know, shit's going Super Saiyan 2. And then I don't get hit for the rest of the game. Or I get hit and I do like super awesome ops attacks. And then I like grab the ledge, like ops attack. Upbeat ops attack. You know, like, it'd be crazy.
I feel like this
And then I come back from 170% 4 stock down, 4 stock to 1 down, and I win game 10 of set 2 grand finals. That's how I do it.
I feel like this is
That's how I do it.
I feel like this is like the Smash equivalent of like what dads think of themselves when they watch Taken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Taken's sick, man.
That's like everybody, like every like tough guy dad's like fantasy, right? Their kid gets kidnapped and they somehow like go through this long journey and they beat the hell out of everybody to save their kid.
Yeah, man, that'd be sick.
That's
if
just like the Blur
if just
Smash
like go across the world and do that.
This is the Blur Smash equivalent. There'd be an R-wing.
Trust me, you guys think that's the only scenario I've thought about? I've thought about everything about how I thought about the whole bracket. First of all, I'm a loser's round 1. You know, round 1, I decide, hey, I'm not really trying. I'm going Pichu round 1. I lose a close last stock 2-1 set to a very good player. Let's just say like a Ice. You know, and I got Ice round 1 when Pichu took the game though, and then from then on, I start building momentum, building confidence, and it starts to go about. Dude, me and Scar need to have a talk. We gotta add this to the script. It'd be great.
Would Marth be the best character on an FD only rule set?
Martha's already the best character, but would he be the consensus best character? Yes.
All right. Do you think the Project M scene will ever return to its prime? No. All right. Rip. Let's get some 40s for Project M. What are your thoughts about Tafo ranking Fendi over current you?
He doesn't actually think that.
I actually do.
What?
Yeah.
As a player?
Yeah.
I can't just talk about how I'm going to win tournaments.
I said Prime Valero was better than Fendi.
Prime Blur is better than everyone who's ever existed. That's the point.
Yeah. So.
He's never taken a friendly off me. Why would you say that?
Just play him now. He's actually not bad.
I'm not bad.
You're not bad, but you're out of shape, man.
I am out of shape.
That's why they say current.
Not like this. Can we just go to the next question?
How do we feel about Kevin? This question's not much better for you, man. How do we feel about Kevin Durant going to the Warriors?
It's like a 1-2 punch. When Duncan retires and Kevin Durant goes to the Warriors, you're just like, well, I actually, you know, it's the first time the NBA season, I'm not excited to watch it. The first time in my entire adult life.
I'm
in my entire childhood life either. The whole time I've been excited about the NBA.
I'm excited for it.
Why are you excited? Oh, you're a fucking Warriors fan. You're the only one. I want to let you know that. It's very difficult for me to get excited about the NBA.
I'm actually pretty sure most of this office...
I don't want to see the Spurs without Duncan. That sucks.
Most of this office is probably excited about the Warriors.
They're all casuals, man.
Right.
Casuals. Elzard knows, man. From the beginning, the base god knew. KD, let me tell you something about KD. You need to start learning a little bit more about him. That guy, he puts up a persona, but he is Wiz Khalifa underneath that jersey. Why would anyone get tattoos exactly in the shape of his jersey unless they have something to hide? Unless they're not proud of it, right?
So I
feel like it's the tackiest thing. Can you imagine he takes his jersey off and he's got exactly tattoos in the shape of a jersey?
So all I need is for Kevin Durant to make all the jumpers that Harrison Barnes pump faked and missed into nothing, and I'm happy.
Fantastic. Of course you are. You're going to win. Wait, do you actually take pride in them winning this year?
Hey, we might lose. Look at Florida last week.
It might happen, but it's not an accomplishment. It's not an accomplishment if they win.
Yeah.
There's literally no accomplishment being made if they win. That's like acting like, oh great, you put the 5 gods on one crew, and you put me and you on another crew, and oh, it's great, they won the grand championship of the world of the forever. No, it's not an accomplishment when they win.
Oh, okay. Apparently the owners of the Thunder told Durant not to get tattooed on his arms.
Well, that makes me even think even less of the owners of the Thunder, because Clay Bennett
I can't
suck
wait.
a fat one.
I can't wait for the Bill Simmons, the inevitable Bill Simmons post when Russell Westbrook eventually moves to the Lakers, and they talk about the Harden trade. But yeah, Florida lost, so yeah.
So I guess that team can't lose. They literally are incapable of losing without injury to 3 people.
I'm actually still laughing over the fact that Florida lost and choked.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
I think it's really funny considering how much they lobbied for them to get both.
There's such thing as karma in this world.
H-Box Durant and Muta King Curry.
For real.
Yeah. All right. Personal favorite tournaments or tourney sets?
Favorite tournaments? That's a tough one.
Mango Armada Genesis 1 for me.
Oh, favorite tourney sets? That's a little bit easier because I do think Mango Armada Genesis 1 is probably the best set of all time. There's a few that are really, really high up there. I also like Ken Azen, the Azen comeback a lot.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of the best ever. Favorite tournament might just be this year's Evo. I actually did not like day 1 and 2 very much just because I had to commentate a lot of hours. I wasn't feeling all that well in terms of sickness, but it's always been my dream to see Smash in a stadium, and we saw Smash in a stadium. And that's been a dream of mine since I was a fucking kid, right? And to see it actually happen was mind-blowing, right? That we actually had it happen. And
yeah, that was surreal.
It was just straight surreal. So, yeah, that was dope.
How would blockbuster movies based off of melee storylines be? I mean, I think documentaries are honestly a lot better to display the stories than like a blockbuster movie. I don't know how that would play out.
I think miniseries are actually a really good format. And I think that there's a reason why it worked for Sandbox. And I think there was a reason why he had a hard time making metagame into a movie.
It's hard.
Because the way the characters are laid out, it's all really more short stories than it is entire movies, right? Because there's no thematic balance to the whole thing. It's a bunch of different storylines, right?
Yeah. I think just the way that we consume media now that it doesn't lend itself properly to.
Yeah, people like short stuff.
Yeah. If Melee was at EVO Japan, would we see a revival of the Japanese Melee scene?
It's not that bad off right now. I don't know if they need a revival. But I think Melee's... I would be shocked if it's not at EVO Japan. I don't see why they wouldn't do it. I'd be shocked. I don't think we should wait until... EVO Japan's in 2018. Why do we need to wait until then for Japanese Melee to grow? You can have events in the meantime that are bangers, right? Now I do think it would help, obviously, but Japanese Melee deserves exposure, and so Japanese Smash in general deserves exposure in the meantime. They're a very big scene already.
Yeah. Top 5, top 8s of all time. So Big House 4 has to be in it. Apex 20.
Does it have to be? I'm not sure. It's very good.
I don't know. I can't think of other top 8s that, from start to finish were... really...
It was really, really good.
I can't think of one that was, good the whole way through. I would say Apex 2015 was pretty darn good. Genesis 3?
They're funny. Genesis 3 for sure. Genesis 3 100% makes it. Gamma was really good.
Gamma was good.
Gamma was really good.
I'm pretty sure we're very recent biased, but it's really hard to really think of the older sets because we only remember towards the end.
There's the FC Diamond.
Yeah,
FC Diamond was really
to put it
good.
different, the way things were structured, we're not gonna have
LG Playoffs was also fucking really good.
It's hard to say because everything pre-stream era didn't have a top 8 stream.
The way it is now.
Look at Pound 3's.
We actually adopted the top 8 thing primarily from the FGC.
Yeah.
We had final brackets, but they were varying sizes and not really. The stream schedule didn't matter that much.
Pound 3, literally, they had to move 20 minutes in between to a different venue. Remember that?
So we didn't care about streaming that much. So it wasn't quite like that back in the era. But still, if you look at the top 8 matches, like you can't tell me MLG Playoffs doesn't make the cut, right? Like MLG Playoffs was freaking crazy. As well as a lot of the other MLGs. Vegas was so good.
Vegas was good.
Vegas was really
I
good.
actually paid $25 for that stream.
Did you? Oh, yeah, that was live streamed back then.
Yeah.
On the old MLG TV.
Yeah, you had to pay $25 to sub.
Yeah.
But you got it for a year, and you also got Halo.
Sick.
So shouts to like the two of you guys that actually paid $25 to get those MLG streams. Shout to all the people that ripped all the...
I don't think there's even 2 people in the stream that did that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Literally no one did that, except you, Tafo. But yeah, there's a lot more. It's hard to think of them all off the bat. There's so many tournaments, but those are some of the ones that come to mind.
Just had my first tournament where I feel like I underperformed. Any general advice on my mindset going forward? Being this results-oriented for your first tournament is definitely not a great mindset to have. It's good to set goals, but you didn't...
I don't think he's saying it's his first tournament. It feels like it's the first tournament he underperformed.
Oh, okay. Got it. Grammar. I mean, you have to think of it as a long haul. Like, is your goal to do well at a major, or is your goal to go beyond that? And, I mean, if you underperform, there's a funny, actually, analogy that somebody gave on cheating. Like, you just don't... When somebody tells you they cheated on you, it wasn't just one course of action that led to the cheating. You had to go to a place where you knew somebody or you kind of had a crush. You talk to them, and you go into an area, you take off your clothes, something happens, other things happen. And so there's probably many reasons why you lost or you underperformed. And you can break that down. I mean, it's not this nebulous you underperform thing. It's like you probably did many things. There's probably like 20 different things that you did wrong. Right? Hundreds of things that you did wrong that could be better. And even if you're performing or you're overperforming, there is still hundreds of things that you could do better.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So next question. Have y'all heard about Smash University in Dallas-Fort Worth area? What do you think of that? I haven't heard about it. Have you?
I haven't either.
Tell us about it, and then we'll talk about it. Because we don't know what you're talking about. Have you... we have seen Chillin convincingly beat Wizzy and None. How do you think he would do versus SJ? Is he doing something other fugs or not? I think Chillin's actually just gotten really good again. Maybe he regained his confidence.
He played None a lot over the summer.
Here's the thing. Chillin's career, again, you list all-time best players, and Chillin makes the top 20 every time, right?
Wait, really?
Top 25. Top 30.
30.
He definitely makes the top 30.
Yeah.
And that's quite an accomplishment to be in the top 30, right? If you include teams in that ranking, he goes up a lot more. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's one of the best teams players all the time, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, think about it like this. Like, from 2015 to the beginning of 2016 is the only time in his career he's really, truly, extremely faltered. Like, he got 9th at EVO.
Beating West Bulls and Cobalt.
Beating West Bulls. Like, Chillin's really good. So I know there's a lot of probably new fans watching now and be like, oh, Chillin is supposed to be... like fringe 50 tier.
Wait, hey, you know what?
But he's not. His career, he's not fringe 50 tier. His career is a top 20 player, right? And maybe he's just regaining form. So like,
you know what this means?
Yeah.
That Hugo's gonna come back in 2017.
No, it can right. Maybe Hugo has a bad year, just like Chillin had a bad year and a half. But now it looks like he's back, and it shouldn't really be that surprising because he's someone who's done it before. When you've been that good for a decade, like. It shouldn't surprise any of us that he can get good again.
Yeah.
So,
who's Gar?
But really, who is Gar?
After Blur's epic rant, can you shout out some smashers who are always professional and courteous to TOs?
Armada.
Armada's really good.
Armada's very good. Armada, thanks to TOs. You guys saw it after Big House. How many people did you see tweet thank you to the TOs and volunteers? Armada did it. Armada's always...
We should get all the top players to TO.
Armada's always on time. He's also a TO, right?
Yeah.
Armada's always on time. Armada understands not to hassle the TOs. He understands what questions to ask, what questions not to. He usually goes to the assistant TO to ask like a very specific bracket question instead of talking to the head TO, who's usually busier. He will be on stage perfectly. He's always in the warm-up area when you need him. He's available. You never have to find Armada. You literally I've never had a scenario where we're like, where's Armada? Yeah. It's never a thing. He doesn't complain that much, honestly. He does not really. When he asks for suggestions, he always does it first to you and then to Twitter, right? Like he wanted a few things for like a bracket or like a few things. He had things to talk about. He first goes to you, and then he goes. For the most part, Armada is a consummate professional, and I think he's a model for every Smasher. So the answer is very clearly Armada.
Yeah.
Like by a long shot, actually.
Axe is good. I've had pretty good.
Axe pretty much always perfect. Axe is pretty much always perfect. So I'd give him that too.
Yeah.
So class Axe all around to those guys. Those have to be the 2 shout-outs that come to mind.
Yeah. Let's see. There's another one. Top 5 top players. I mean, we named 2 of them. I'd probably have to think about more. I mean, there are a lot of people that are probably neutral. Like, I think Plup doesn't create.
Some of them don't cause problems. Some don't help, but some definitely don't cause problems.
Yeah. I mean,
let me try to think of more. So
Plup.
Huh?
Plup.
Plup's up there. I mean, I can't think of a time where he's caused a problem.
Yeah.
Cobalt?
Yeah,
Cobalt's never a problem. Who else is there?
Is Zach good?
I was about to say Zach, yeah. Zach is generally really good.
Yeah.
He's always playing. He's always available. He's always courteous.
And Zach, in the old days of the NorCal tournaments, he brought 4 setups on his own very often.
Zach brought setups. One thing I made fun of Hugo for years, I was like, Hugo, you've been in this community for 10 years. You haven't brought 1 setup.
Yeah.
Things like that. But yeah, Zach is generally... And also, he takes locals seriously. He pretty much has never sandbagged, as far as I know, to my knowledge. He's always good for improving.
He interacts with people.
He interacts with fans very well. He, again, always very courteous. You'll rarely see Zach go off on Twitter on TO.
You did something wrong if he does, though.
He did that one time on CEO, but I felt like...
That was kind of justified.
I did too. But I felt it, but I don't know if he went directly to the TO first in that case, so maybe that's a knock on him. I'm not sure. But either way... In many ways, in some ways, I agree with him. So it's one of those things, right? Yeah. So for the most part, I think Zach's another good example. We probably missed a bunch of people. Like I don't think Ice has ever caused problems either.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of people.
There's a lot of people who are generally good. It's the bad apples, which you're literally knocking on their hotel room, trying to get them to drag them out because people flew them there. That's the stuff that infuriates you. The people who get a Facebook message 200 times. That's the ones that piss you off. But the ones that are generally good, no problem.
You know what you need? One in the community? More Graces.
Grace doesn't play no games. Grace doesn't play no games.
Dude, it's so funny when Grace is like the principal and she puts you in that little room and goes like, I'm just going to name a random player. Leffen's never been to the summit. William, come into this room right now. And then you see the top player at the summit just walk into the room with their head down, and you see Grace follow them in and then close the door and start yelling at them. I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that in person?
I've seen it.
It's so funny.
It's a little condescending. It's a little much maybe, but it works, so I don't care.
Hey, they're all
I don't care.
They're all terrified of her.
The fact that it works makes me happy.
Grace, this is petite, small, Asian girl. She goes off. They're all scared of her. All right. Anyway, let's kind of run through because it's already 8 o'clock.
Wes is asking for his confirmation email. Let me.
It sounds like top players didn't like doubles top 8 before singles top 8. Did it actually boost peak viewership as much as we thought? Do you think a tournament will ever do that again? I don't think so. I think there were a lot of complaints about it. I mean, it was a good experiment. Joe Guy even admitted to experimenting, but I think doubles needs to happen on one day.
Let me answer this question. Try to fix Wes's situation, just make sure he's fine. I got him, guys. Hey, yo, Wes. I just messaged you on Facebook your confirmation. I also forward an email I got that'll probably help you. To Weston Dennis. I think you should be good with just a confirmation, though.
Yeah, just give him the 6-digit code.
I did.
It's Southwest.
Yeah, so he should be fine. But I'll just make sure by sending him the email anyways.
All right.
I want to answer this question though.
Okay.
So
just recap doubles top 8 before singles top 8.
yeah, so doubles and singles, right?
Yeah.
So doubles is really interesting, right? Like, in many ways, you want doubles to be on the final day because it's actually proven to be the second highest peak of the whole event.
Yeah.
Right? As in, doubles lately outperforms Wii U singles, and many times it outperforms Melee Cruise. It outperforms almost everything, right? Except for singles top 8, right? Melee singles top 8. So in many ways, if you just go by traditional ramp theory, you think, hey, you want that right before Melee singles.
Right.
But it generally hurts Wii U singles a lot when it's not right before Melee singles. So we've tried out. Now we've tried everything. We tried Wii U singles after Melee singles, which was like PAX Arena, you can think about it. I think that was also SmashCon and some others. Is Westinghouse? Southwest, dude. Southwest. And just making sure he gets it. Okay, so sorry, what was I saying? I was saying that
You talked about escalation theory by having the largest events, kind of build off of each other.
Right. So generally what you want to do is ramp up as you go with more hype stuff near the end. And so we've tried Wii U singles after Melee singles, like PAX Arena and SmashCon, right? We've tried Wii U singles on an entirely different stream, like at Big House. And we tried Wii U singles before Melee, right? Between the three, it seems like Wii U singles performs the best before Melee.
Yeah.
So that the Melee viewers are there and are there at the peak time.
Yeah.
That seems to be the best for it. And for the most part, the Melee guys for singles show up no matter what. You can put it at 4 a.m. and people show up, because that's the truth. So I think that maybe for Wii U's sake, it's better to go Wii U singles and then into Melee singles. And doubles maybe does finish in day one, like you said. But then if it finishes day one, the content schedule gets really weird.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people suggested that, but what we've done in day ones has become really beautiful, right? What we've done in day ones is we've done crews, right? So if you're going to do crews, how do you fit in doubles in that time? And how do you fit in doubles in that time when you're already playing singles pools during most day ones, right?
Yeah.
During most day ones, you're playing singles pools. So how do you fit doubles and all of that? It gets really hairy, and I'm not actually sure if that's the most efficient. Maybe end of day 2 for doubles can be good, but and then where does top 32 fit in? It's a big puzzle. We're all still trying to figure it out, but I'm not sure if doubles top 8 to singles top 8 is the best anymore either. It could be the best.
I mean, the players were exhausted, though.
The players were exhausted, but you could do a bigger break, like which we could have done with the analyst desk is done like an hour-long curated show for analysis. Like, what if those 3 skits were used in the hour-long pre-show, right? And we used all those pre-analysis that we did. You know how before every set we said, oh, and next up is, Ice versus SFAT. And we then analyzed Ice versus SFAT, and we said, who we think is going to win, blah, blah, blah. What if we instead pushed that section to the beginning, and we had an hour-long segment for that? We ran our skits during that segment. We ran... we had a 4-person panel for that segment, and there was a true pre-show for singles top 8 to bridge doubles top 8 into singles top 8. Then they wouldn't feel so bad, right?
We did it, but it was 30 minutes and short. Yeah,
it was too short, and they couldn't really get it. So it's a really big puzzle. Like, everyone's trying to figure it out. The key thing is we're experimenting to decide, and that's the key. Is as long as you keep experimenting, we're eventually going to figure out the optimal solution.
Optimal. Okay, we're going to go through this quick because I'm supposed to be with Atriox. While we're ranting, getting in touch with Smash leadership is nearly impossible as the scene grows and you guys get more busy. We are both guilty here. Oh, fair enough.
No, I agree.
What kind of aspiring TOs, content creators, and streamers do to be taken more seriously? It's the best option to forge your own path and hope for the best. I mean, I think a lot of... There are questions I'm more willing to answer than not, and it's the people that have taken active research and done a little bit on their own, and then I can kind of lead them in the right direction as they keep going. The people that have not done anything, have not done any personal investment or research, those are the people that are like 80% of my questions that I don't really like helping as much, because
I'll admit that it's very frustrating to me. Now, I like any question. There's no dumb questions, and everything is great. But it is frustrating to me when I see a very simple, Googleable,
yes,
or not even just Googleable, but like very base level question asked. But I'm like, bro, you were at an event. You probably have 10 minutes to talk to me. I would hope that you'd at least thought about it first, right? Like I have a lot of people asking me questions about how to TO and stuff. Please at least think about your time so I can, I can help you the best, right? I can get to the core of your problem. I can get to, where you need to go. Instead of just asking me, hey, Blur, do you have any TOing tips? It's like...
Or it's like asking, like, what do I do in neutral in Smash? It's like...
Yeah, it's too much. Like, figure out what your problem is. Find what you actually need to learn, and find where your actual stop gaps are, and then see if I can help you in ways like that. But I would don't ask me when does blank tournament start. Don't tell me where do I go for my pool. Don't ask me.
It's just like that one time that random like SoCal guy kept asking Hugo questions about the bracket. Like we'll answer certain things that like can be answerable, but if you're asking like Blur like for like a 15-minute discussion on whether round robin or bracket pools are better, there are a bunch of other people that could probably answer that question and give you the pros and cons.
Yeah.
I think he wants a type of questions that like how do I handle negotiating with a hotel? Like there's this particular issue I'm dealing with.
Yeah, give me your high level questions. Give me the stuff that you feel like you genuinely are worried about, like a really, really high level problem. Not things that you think that, hey, it's not a big deal, or I could solve this, or I could ask someone else, or whatever.
Okay, so a few more questions. What do we think if the tournament series seeded based on the previous results? So if Genesis 4 is seeded by the top 8 of Genesis.
You know what? I don't hate it. Because I feel like what I really dislike is kind of what we're doing now, which is making the same bracket over and over again for a full year because we have the same ranking,
Yeah.
With exception, like sometimes we're like, okay, cool, SS won a few times, so we push them up. But everyone else stays the same, you know? And TOs don't really like look at it that critically. It's actually gotten worse because, and I love this feature, but on Smash GG, they have your MIM rank right there. And TOs instinctively just are like, well, I don't want to put MIM rank number 10 below number 6, or excuse me, above number 6, right?
Yeah.
Even though number 10 has been doing better all year, right?
Yeah.
For example. And so it like almost builds that instinct in them to go exactly by SSBM rank, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's October, right? It's freaking October. Now, January, February, you should probably go exactly by it. But October, no. You have to make your own judgments. And I think a lot of that like keeps people rigid and keeps people lacks a lot of fluidity until we see a lot of the same brackets and matches.
But at the same time, I think at the bottom end of it, we worry about it too much. Like a person that's complaining that they're seated 52nd as opposed to 56, like that honestly doesn't really matter that much.
And also, people even with high level seating, like I really don't like. I don't want to make when people do seating criticism. I'm like, yeah, it could be slightly wrong. Like as long as it's empty. As long as it's within a plus or minus of like 3, usually. Now, at the higher seedings, it's a little bit more, you kind of have to be more exact. But like, as long as it's plus or minus 3, like, or maybe even 4, I don't have that much of a problem with it, right? Because at the end of the day, you need some variety. So, sure, you could think that, Ice or Swedish Delight, who's better, right? Swedish has been performing pretty consistently throughout the last few months. Ice had a higher peak performance. You know what? What if one tournament starts seeding Ice higher than Swedish, right? Because many tournaments have already been doing Swedish higher than Ice. So what happens there, right? Maybe do that. Fine. It's okay. It's not that big a deal. But, yeah.
We should do full random, man.
Full random, baby.
All right, last question before we kind of close it because I had to do something. Hey, Tafe. I don't even pronounce my own name correctly.
Just go, man.
Hey, Tafo. Do you think Mango's loser run at Shine is the most impressive losers one of 2016? Silent Wolf Shroom He beat Silent Wolf, Shroom, Plup, Swedish, Hungry Bucks. The fact that he only placed third and lost to SFAT makes it no.
No.
I can't think of a better one off the top of my head, but there probably is a better one.
Yeah. There are many better ones. What about Press Start?
That was in 2015, man.
Oh, they're talking about 2016. In 2016, it might be up there.
Okay. They want you to have a blurgasm emote.
That's Saucy's. Saucy's, you're a wily bastard. Saucy's hunts me down and makes sure I do what I need to do, and I appreciate that. I actually kind of like it. I kind of like me and Saucy's dynamic. He's the best. That's the man behind my stream.
Why does Blur have bad taste in basketball teams? Why does he like the Sonic 06 of the NBA? I don't even know what this means.
The Spurs are amazing. That is not bad taste. That's amazing cultured taste. You need to culture yourself. What do you want from me?
Okay, fair enough. Melee has currently no circuit or major league system, not even a global ranking system. Do you see any chance of something like this forming anytime soon? And if yes, by whom? Well, to have a global ranking system, you would need a systematic way of doing things. Wait, Westfall's his flight got delayed to 10:30.
Oh, it got delayed? So you're just going to go home and come back?
Aw, not like this.
He's only 5 minutes away from the airport, so...
Okay, fair enough.
You can just go home and go back.
It would just take an effort from all the TOs and stuff. I think we have many other videos on this, and from my understanding, there has been no new updates on this. I mean, a circuit is not a new idea. It's something that gets tossed around.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. I mean, obviously, literally 15 years we've been talking about a circuit. There's been rumors about a circuit for 15 years.
Something like that. So, yeah.
I mean, bro, it's like asking us, is Melee HD going to happen?
Yeah.
We've been dreaming about it. In many ways, it could be good for the scene. Similarly with the circuit, but it takes some resources that we currently do not have.
I think the best example I gave is that let's say you gave like everybody in the world, they've never seen a stream before, and you said like you give them XSplit, and like what ideas can they come up with to like make a better stream? I'm pretty sure like hundreds of people would think of the same idea. In this case, it'd be a circuit, right?
Oh yeah.
Like,
so it's a common idea. I mean, making a league,
yeah,
a competitive anything, making a league is not a new idea, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, like now, I guess you can lump Kings of Cali in that. There's 3 things that the freaking fans have been asking for a while: Kings of Cali,
Prime Blur,
a circuit, and Melee HD. 4 things. That's 4 things we might never get.
All right. Anyway, so we hope you guys enjoyed this. We did a double trouble stream this week.
Yeah.
And thank you to all 250 of you guys that actually came in. Dude, my elbow hurts so much. I can't believe I tripped and fell. All right, let's look for. So for the fans, Crimson. When is how can they view the stream tomorrow?
Team Moxie. Go twitch.tv/Team Moxie.
At what time? I don't know. We're assuming around noon.
Just like 10:30 a.m. or something.
All right.
10:30 a.m. PST. We actually have like really banger matches starting from like noon. We've made a new and crazy stream content schedule, so don't expect it to be like the normal tournament where you're running round 1 pools for the first 6 hours. You're about to see some innovation. So start looking. Yeah, start watching at 12 and see what can be done. Right? You guys just might be tuning into things like, I think it was like Nintendo versus Westballs as early as like 1 p.m. So.
All right. So we are going to host. We never do Duck.
Is Duck streaming? Duck's Lab?
Yeah.
Duck wouldn't be bad. Chillin's also going nuts, but let's say he's got a lot of viewers already. Let's do Duck.
Yeah, we're gonna do Duck.
All right. Peace out, homies.